This is the award-winning car talk show in real time. Coming up, we talk with a famous British race car driver, at least we have him scheduled, and the upcoming Chattanooga Motor Car Festival. We'll review our featured vehicle of the week, the all-new 2021 Ford Bronco. We got your weekly cruise-in calendar. Jeff has a feature on the 1959 Cadillac Cyclone XP74.
All right.
Conrad has This Week in Auto History. We'll also have the stories making automotive news this week. All just ahead on today's In Wheel Time car show. We thank you for joining us. Howdy. Along with Mike Out of This World Mars, King Conrad DeLong, we need more Jeff Zekin. I'm Don Armstrong. Glad you could join us today. Thank you very, very much. It's a beautiful day here in southeast Texas.
Yes, it is.
Where our show is originating from. For those of you joining us around the world.
We do have, we are worldwide.
We are.
Absolutely.
We're nationwide and worldwide.
There you go.
But, it used to be, hey, man.
Nationwide is on your side.
Not that.
No.
Not that.
Oh, boy. Here we go.
Hey, Conrad, do you think you could turn your phone down?
Hey, you're live,
I
Conrad.
had it, and then when I bring this up, it turns back on.
You're live, buddy.
We're good.
And
at least we know we're getting out there.
This is one of those things
that's my
that
sound test.
Every single week.
I don't know
Conrad, do you think you could turn that down?
I don't know if Heitzman's out there yet listening. Usually
I'm sure he is.
Yeah.
He could be coming through that door right now.
Yes, one of our fans. Well, I don't know if you'd call it that. One of our critique artists.
He's the nationwide.
George is out there. Good morning from Central Texas.
Yes. Is he
morning,
in Central
George.
Texas? I thought he was in East Texas.
Well,
No,
today
he's
in Central.
Waco.
No, he's up in Tyler.
Yeah. Well,
Where are you
I
being?
thought he was in Waco.
Where are you being?
George, where are you?
He's not wacko.
Yeah, George, where are you?
Right in, George. Where are you? Where the heck are you, George?
Oh, Lord.
You got Harold Easley.
I have
Sean
a
Richards.
feeling that it's going to be one of those days,
It's going to be a great day. It's going to be a great day.
We have 3 hours of this
It's a beautiful
mayhem.
day in the neighborhood.
You make it a great day. You
Yes.
make the day what you want to make it.
Yes, we've listened to Pavarotti.
Temple, Texas. I was close because I was in Waco. Temple, Texas.
Temple, Texas.
It's near Waco.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, I'll give you that one.
It's nowhere near Tyler.
And I wouldn't consider that Central Texas.
Yeah, because there's a couple of car clubs up there. It used to be called the Heart of Texas because it's kind of centralized right there. It really is.
Okay. All right.
Anyhow.
What he was saying.
Do we have our guest yet?
No, sir.
Because I'm ready to do something.
You remember
good.
I told you how it was to get a hold of Chattanooga?
Yeah, I
No?
know.
Okay.
We've had this ongoing issue with Chattanooga.
Chattanooga choo-choo.
Hey, speaking of Central Texas, Tesla's going to move its corporate headquarters to Austin.
Yes, I heard that.
I heard that, yeah.
Where a new factory for the Model Y and the forthcoming Cybertruck is nearing completion. CEO Elon Musk announced the move Thursday during a EV maker's shareholder annual meeting from the Austin plant. California Governor Gavin Newsom, idiot, and the state's Economic Development Agency didn't immediately respond to requests for comment by Automotive News. Musk moved to Texas himself to focus on two big priorities for his company, SpaceX's new Starship vehicle under development on the Gulf Coast near Brownsville, and Tesla's Gigafactory in Austin.
Oh, I like that.
No, he moved here because he didn't want to pay state income
Well, yeah,
tax.
no.
Exactly.
And he was
Why do
getting
you think?
hosed in California.
Exactly.
See, you didn't let me finish the sentence. Once again.
I see
You
what you're
always, you
see what
always,
you're thinking.
you always finish my sentences.
You
for
know,
me.
We think alike.
It's strange how you two think so much alike.
Girls,
it's
come
almost
on.
like you were married.
Come on,
Well,
girls.
we do have the same birthday.
Yeah, you do.
There you go.
There's
there
that.
you go.
You know, they're twins.
Austin, Texas. He moved there
Born
because no
23
personal
years
income
apart.
tax, while California imposes the highest personal income levies in the nation on its wealthiest residents.
My only fear is they're going to transfer all those Californians to Austin.
I was thinking
and
the
they're
same
not going to
thing.
screw up Austin because Austin's already screwed up, but they're going to screw up the rest of
The rest of the state.
Yeah.
And whatever happened
You're
to
welcome to from California to move here, but leave your
ideas
stupid
and all
voting
that. Yep,
ideas
exactly.
back in California.
What happened to the car that's in space? Is that thing still going around somewhere?
Oh,
The what?
yeah, they sent
They-
that.
they lo-
They sent that out into.
They sent
outer
a
space.
car to outer space?
Yeah,
Oh,
the
yeah.
Tesla, a convertible with a dummy in it, driving. You ever
I
see
guess
that?
I
the
You,
old-
you
the old-
remember the old MTV promo
old-
thing? That
the
was
old
the Tesla
Roadster.
going.
No, it wasn't.
Oh.
but it was the old Roadster.
You, sir, were smoking something funny back in
Pass
the day.
that down this way.
Again. Yeah, exactly.
Jesus. Ear.
Oh, God.
Back in the 70s, that was the most popular used word in the English language. Ear.
This bottle here is not near
That's my
big,
bottle.
not near big enough for the day.
I've
but
got
I
a-
have a great big one in the kitchen in there.
He does, and I've got a Schweppes that I'm going
Ginger
to
ale.
use.
You got to be
this
careful how
and
you
this.
say that.
It's ginger ale.
Uh-huh.
Let's do that.
Yeah, George is bragging about 10,000 new jobs in Austin. It means all those homeless people that are begging for money, you got someplace to go to work.
Let me tell you, I was shocked when I went to Austin Sunday evening. There were literally,
Shocked.
I was going down Highway 71 where it cuts across from 35 headed out west.
Right? Like,
And I'm
literally
doing 65 miles an hour.
And you hit a homeless guy.
No, they are tents on the side of the
Oh,
road,
yeah,
and
yeah.
on the shoulder
Yeah.
of the elevated.
Lots
Well,
of
the
them.
elevated's overhead, so I guess that was their shade.
Underneath.
Yeah, and they're right there on the freeway.
Yeah.
Lots
go-
of them. Thousands of them.
Well, there wasn't thousands of them, but it was just there was
Drive
enough
around
of
Austin,
them that
there's
would have made a
thousands
heck
of
of a
them.
mess
Do
if
you know
I'd
what?
have hit any of
Some
them.
of them are putting their tents in the median
Wait
because
a
they
minute.
wanted to live on an island.
Isn't that where they shipped
Island
all those
time.
people from Del Rio?
Yeah. Oh,
That's all.
Maybe
And
so.
the police department is suffering out there. That's sad.
Well, it is, but I mean, it was like, and I mean, and I talked to somebody that lived there in Austin. They said the police department has been told,
Leave
if
them
they're out
alone.
there on the freeway, exactly,
Leave
leave them
them
alone
alone.
unless they become, that they're going to
Jump
hurt
out in
somebody.
traffic.
They don't care if
Well,
they
they
get
came
run
out
over.
with-
It's just
was
if
it-
they're going to cause anybody else to have a wreck and get hurt.
October
Look at your
1st,
phone.
they came out with a whole
My
list
phone?
of reasons.
Oh my gosh,
you're
I got to be.
not
There's a bee landed on his phone.
not to.
Well, thump it off of there.
I don't thump the bee.
Oh, you just killed a bee.
No, he thumped it. Now it's all ticked off, and he's coming to
There it
stick,
is.
Yeah,
stick you on
exactly.
the top of
Come
your
after
going
Mars.
bald head.
Oh, no.
Man,
Well, there's a whole list of crimes you're not allowed to call 911 for anymore in Austin.
Murder,
No, no, no.
rape.
you can still call. That
No,
don't
but
mean they're
it's
going to come, but you can
Car
call.
theft and breaking and entering and stuff. Welcome to Keep It Weird.
Okay, thank you, Elon.
It's always been weird.
Yes, it has been.
Thanks for coming,
Yeah, I've been
Elon.
going to Austin.
We'll see you
By
there.
the way, before we really get into the crux of the show, Jeff is playing in his band tonight,
Yes,
and
tonight.
everybody's welcome to go to
Yes, we have a
over at the
different-
Richmond
Wait,
Arms.
Richmond Arms.
There's a correction.
There is a correction.
Correction.
The time has been moved up from. It's going to be from 6 to 9 because there's another band coming in after.
Well, that's
this.
good for us old people
Yeah, it
because
is.
you
Yeah.
know 9 o'clock
We could be
we're falling
home. Yeah, I
asleep.
mean, that's it.
Every back at the home by 9.
We'll play some home music. No, but it has changed.
But 6 o'clock, I mean, Wheel of Fortune isn't on until 6:30, so they're not going to get there
But
until
it's
after
Saturday.
7.
It's Saturday.
Yeah,
it's
It's on
Saturday.
Saturday.
And I do have to tell you that the Alabama A&M game is tonight on television.
Oh boy. You
Oh,
have to
that will
record
be
it.
a good game.
You have to record it. Yeah, I will.
Well, you
Come on.
don't watch football.
I do.
Do you?
Yeah, I watch college. Heck yeah.
I'll watch college.
Yeah. I watch it for the cheerleaders.
I'm done with pro.
The cheerleaders and the marching band.
We're not doing the Boomer Sooner thing.
We
Sorry.
already are. It's on.
Oh, okay.
yeah?
Well, here we go.
Yeah?
Watch
Watch
this.
this.
How do you like that? Did you like that? No, you're not on. No, you see, I have the controls for the microphone. So whatever it is that you're saying, it makes no difference because we don't really care at this point after that. Now, if you want to play the Alabama fight song,
You're welcome to.
no, I'm not going to bore
Because that's going to
everybody.
piss off the A&M fans. I'm just looking to piss off the UT
They're
fans.
mad all the time anyway, so it doesn't make any difference.
We need Elon Musk on the show, Mike.
Yeah.
That
Could you
would
get
work.
Elon on there for us?
Let me make a note of that.
No, go ahead and give him a buzz
No,
right
I'm going to
now.
make a note. Waste some more time chasing down Elon Musk.
Oh, I bet you Elon would come on the show.
I bet you would.
You know, we
You
talk
think?
about weed and alcohol.
And
What
go
was
into
it?
space.
He was on something burning some weed. He was
Yeah.
on some
Oh, I don't know about that.
podcast or something. You know, he was on
It was a
He did
podcast.
a podcast.
And he was sitting there
What a great name for a show.
smoking
Oh,
a
yeah.
doobie.
Welcome to the podcast show.
Yeah.
And actually, I was talking to
We'd have to move to Colorado to do that.
My former director at Channel 2, and we were talking about a guy that actually was pushing a camera around when we were working together back in the early 2000s. He now has, with a couple of partners of his, have purchased an old Budweiser storage facility. Great big, where they put all the beer cans.
Distribution center.
I think it's in Arizona. And not only are they growing weed there, they're also doing all the things that you do.
You process it and all that.
All of that. And then they distribute it
to the
He's
States.
making millions of dollars. Where did we go wrong?
I have a friend of mine used to own the Amco down there by the Astrodome.
Amco.
Yeah, the transmission shop.
Oh, yeah.
And one of his ex-service advisors moved to Oklahoma and have 3 growing facilities in Oklahoma. Oklahoma's a little different, though, because there's a grower,
and then
there's a distributor, and there's a retailer. So those are 3 separate operations.
Don't forget,
they can't have it all in one.
You can't be all.
Don't forget
you can't be 2 of them.
There's a 4th element. The user.
smoker. Yeah.
Well, yeah. But up there in Oklahoma, I got an uncle up there that he had several acres where he was putting all his old cars and trucks and junk. He's kind of a collector.
Now he's
growing pot.
He is making big bucks selling that property, and it's all in cash.
Yeah.
I mean, they'll come in.
Wait a minute, selling the property.
So they can build grow houses on it.
Or leasing it, at least.
No, he's selling it.
Yeah,
he doesn't want to be tied to it.
They don't
because
grow outdoors. Richard was telling me they don't grow outdoors.
It's kind of like big greenhouses.
It's all grown inside because they can control the environment.
Right.
Welcome to Grow Your Own this morning.
Man, that would be a great show. Do a whole show on weed.
Some of the stuff that he's bought, he paid $1,000 an acre for. He's selling it for like $4,000 an acre for the same piece of property.
$4,000 an acre. Hell, I used to pay $1,000 a pound.
That's on the retail level. He's down on the wholesale level.
Wow.
Ladies and gentlemen, this was a car show.
It was.
Remember,
We're changing the name. It's going to be called In Weed Time.
Yeah, but our first guest from the Chattanooga Motor Car Festival has not made it yet. Again.
Okay, well, so here.
Let's
let
continue.
Let me take care of that.
I'm trying to get a hold of Elon here.
Okay. You go ahead and do that. I do have things that I wanted to tell you about. We have recalls to tell you about.
We always do.
have recalls.
Toyota Prius from 2022. ECU software may cause loss of drive power. Ford Explorer, Lincoln Aviator, and Lincoln Corsair from 20 to 2021. Rear view camera image may not display.
Yeah, big deal.
And you know, that is there must be a supplier somewhere because it's cars from every
brand,
manufacturer. Right. Yeah.
Well, you got to remember, though, rear view camera is now a NHTSA requirement on the vehicle. It's not even an option or a high level feature that it used to be. It's a required.
Do you use it? Because I don't use mine.
I use it all the time.
No,
I
don't
love
trust
it.
I do too.
I don't trust it.
And I love
You don't trust the camera.
No, I have to turn and reach. And
I love it when you turn the wheel, the lines in the ground in the view change because they're pretty accurate.
I still don't trust it.
Of course not.
No, I'm that kind of person. Yeah.
We know. Yeah,
You're a drummer.
There's that. Cadillac, Escalade, Suburban, Tahoe, Yukon, all of those power control module may cause fuel pump failure.
Oops.
These are all recalls.
That's a tow home.
These are all recalls, by the way.
Yeah.
Nissan Pathfinder for 2022. Third row headrests may move or detach. What? Second row seat back weld may separate. Same vehicle.
That's bad. Hi, I used to be in the back seat. Now I'm sitting in the front seat. Oh, that would be seriously bad.
Fuel may leak from the fuel pump mounting rings on the Mazda Speed 6 and the Mazda RX-8 from
That's an old car.
2006
Yeah.
through 2011. Yeah. It's an old car, but
it's a thermal event.
Yep. Rear suspension toe link fracture on the Ford Explorer 2011 through 2013. Hyundai Sonata hybrid, the regular Sonata, and the plug-in hybrid from 2015 through 2017. Turn signal may activate in the wrong direction.
That's what George is
They're
talking
just
about,
now finding out about this?
Yeah, so when you turn left, you're actually going to turn right. When
Yeah,
you turn
the
right.
signal is on the right, and you're trying to turn
Ooh,
left.
What if it was one of those cars that had the little cameras that come up on the screen, and it was the wrong camera, and you were looking at the wrong side of your car, and you're going the other way?
Then they would have a problem because if you had a wreck and you said that was the cause of it, they would have liability.
All right.
That's why they issue these recalls, because they want to have some release of liability, because then they could say, we sent you a letter, so we're not liable anymore.
Did you get the letter?
Doesn't
What did
matter.
you do?
They
Mazda
sent you the letter.
CX-9 seat may slide forward in a crash. That's not good.
No.
2020 to 2021. Volvo recall. They said Tuesday they're recalling a bunch of models for potentially defective driver's side airbags. Sound familiar?
Yikes. Takata.
Recall includes the S80 sedan from 2001 to 2006, and the
Ooh.
S60 from 2001 to 2009.
That's
an
all
ac-
of them.
Is that an accurate number? A bunch?
To fix the issue, Volvo will replace the driver's side airbags with a more modern propellant and inflator.
Mm-hmm.
And dealers were notified starting September 30th. Vehicle owners will be notified starting November 29th. Why
So
the delay?
they're not saying it's Takata,
They didn't say that.
No.
but it's
Yes,
an
yes, they did. I
Does
just
say
didn't read
Takata?
it. Yeah,
Okay.
it's Takata.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know, think about that. One vendor to sounds like 90% plus of the industry has created billions of dollars in recall expense.
Made a
The
lot of
largest-
rich lawyers.
The largest recall ever.
Yeah, and it's been recalled multiple times because they were
Had to recall the recall.
Yeah, well, because
Yeah.
the replacement wasn't any different.
Nope.
It just wasn't old and corroded yet. So,
Yet.
and actually, my 2012 Tahoe's got a recall for Takata driver's side airbag.
They notified you. You better get it.
Yeah, well, people don't understand that notification is, to a degree, a release of liability on the manufacturer. And that is why when you see, and this happens quite often, and it actually happened with Takata, was the notification goes out before the parts are available to make the repair. But in that notification gives the manufacturer some release of liability.
And a timeline to get the parts in.
Correct.
Well, in most of those, at least the one that I saw, it says, please stop driving the car until it's repaired.
Oh, wow.
Well, and you will see some customers were, okay, and bring it to the dealership. I was told to stop driving the car. You provide me with the loaner vehicle. And there was a point, you remember the, what was it, GM had the recall on the steering column locking up
Cobalt.
on the J car, the Cobalt, and that whole range of cars.
And an Oldsmobile Rally.
And my Corvette.
And your Corvette. Well, different reasons.
Whatever.
And I remember people actually brought their Cobalts in, would bring this old piece of junk Cobalt, all wore out and beat up, into the Chevy dealer and said, they told me to park my car. You give me a rent car. And they did.
I'll take that vet.
And
They did?
They did. You know, and these people were getting serious upgrades in the car they were driving because the Cobalt was a pile.
It was an Opus.
And
Obvious piece of
schmutz.
Schweppes.
So, you know, it's not unusual. And when the manufacturer tells you to park the car, I think they have a responsibility to provide you with transportation.
Well, I've found out this week, change the subject, that I have an addiction.
Oh, boy.
Online parts purchasing.
Yep.
What'd you buy now?
Well, you know, the Corvette, the C5 Corvette has a issue, all of them, with the seat that rocks. Mm-hmm. And it kind of just slides maybe a quarter of an inch. When you hit the brakes, it neat.
But you can feel it.
You can feel it.
Yeah.
It's the bushing and the seat track.
So I that was my first purchase. I had a repair kit. Jeff and I have got to tackle that because you got to take the seat out to do it.
I've got to interject. The parts that they sent them looks like a nylon washer. That's
That's
probably the
exactly
size
what
of a
it
nickel.
is.
It is what it is.
So
It doesn't look like it. It is what it is.
You can just go to the local hardware store.
Yeah, well,
go to
good luck in finding one that
Quartz and
fits.
all that.
Yeah. And I looked
Same.
online, and there are guys that have done that. And the problem is that you go and that the nylon washer that you buy at the hardware store isn't quite the exact size that it needs. and then you wind up trying to fix it, and then it goes back together, and you put it on there,
And it doesn't move
and it
at
doesn't
all.
work.
You get some thick ones, and then you can go to the manufacturer side and you
No,
can
just buy the
fabricate it in the shop.
So the other problem that I had is that the turn signals from time to time stop working. Come to find out that if you press the emergency flasher button enough, on and off, on and off, on and off, turn signals will start working.
There's something about you and the word flasher just gives me bad images in my head.
No, it's not bad images. It's real good images. I know how you think.
Conrad, why did you go there?
Candace, help us, Candace, help us.
Why are you leaving? Don't get her involved.
So it's a problem with the actual flasher itself, and the flasher is up underneath the dash pad.
Where is it behind?
The radio.
There you go.
Yeah.
You got to take the radio out, and all the stuff that we've been doing for the shifter that we've had to do 3
Now
times.
you know how to
Come
get it
back
apart.
out.
We're going to do it again in record time this time.
Well, when you take it apart, when you put it back together, get a little baby powder or a little cornstarch, and kind of rub some of the edges that go together with baby powder.
Careful,
and
don't
cornstarch.
even go there.
That way they won't itch.
Don't
They
even
won't
go
make
there.
that noise.
Do that again. Thank you, Conrad. Thank you.
Mars,
Hey,
this is your fault.
I'm trying to contact Elon here. I'm sending him an email.
We're trying to fill space, Mars, because your guest
Because
didn't
Chattanooga
show.
Music Festival PR company.
Well, and for everybody that's listening, it was supposed to be Brian Redman, historic race car driver.
Absolutely.
Raced Formula One, raced sports cars and stuff. A bit of a hero to me because
Yep.
I loved. He had an opportunity from the 60s through the 90s to drive starting at Le Mans in a GT40 Ford all the way through the Ferraris. He won his class twice in a 935 Porsche.
Yep.
Oh my gosh, what a wonderful.
A high point in his career was between the period of 68 to 73 when he won major sports car races in Ford GT40s, Porsche 908s and 917s, and Ferrari 312 PBs. Le Mans, he led France's 24-hour classic 5 times but never won it.
Oh, boy.
Daytona, the world's other great 24-hour race in Florida, brought 3 wins in 1970, 1976, and 1981. We
And
were
I
really
think-
looking forward to talking
Yeah.
to
And
him.
I think one of those wins was with Hurley Haywood, who has the most trips to the Daytona 500 or the 24 Hours of Daytona.
He's
in,
got the pedigree
in
there.
history. Yeah. You know.
I knew a
Well, he won. He has 2 class wins at Le Mans. He didn't win overall, but he had 2 class wins at Le Mans. He wasn't running prototypes. He was running the 935 Porsche class wins.
Well, Brian Redman will be the grand ambassador of the Chattanooga Motor Car Festival.
All by himself because he missed us.
Hey,
That's
I knew
right.
a person in Chattanooga, Tennessee. It was Annabella Cunningham in Chattanooga, Tennessee.
No, we're not going to go there, Jeff. I know where that's going.
No, I just tell
Oh,
you.
Candace is here.
You have that. You have that smirk on your face. Like,
Don't go there, Don. You'll regret it.
well,
I always have this smirk. Kathy needs to smack the smirk off me. She's not
See,
listening.
well, look, Bedelia, here comes old through the cotton fields now.
So,
Do you remember that line?
yes. So,
What line is that
I don't
from?
know. We're going to go to this.
No, we're not.
Richard Tomlin, when I said
We
that,
are not.
we
We're
were gonna
going
have
to
Brian
continue
Redman.
this conversation.
No, Colonel.
No, Colonel.
It was Colonel Angus, if you're not familiar with it.
Well, Richard Tomlin had replied, wow, when I said we were going to have Brian Redman on
Yeah.
the show.
Yeah.
Well, Richard, we were supposed to have Brian Redman on the show, but somehow he
It
didn't
got all
Zoom in.
screwed up.
Yeah, it's a
You know what that
communication
is.
thing.
But you always show up for your Zoom
Yeah,
appointment. Thank you very
exactly.
much.
Your Zoom appointment.
By the way, I do have a car review to do.
Yes.
We've lost
You know what? I gotta
But
love it.
once again, we kind of gotten
What
off
do you
track.
do? You're doing the Bronco, aren't you?
I'm going to do the Bronco, but do I want to do it now because we're running a little tight on time?
Well,
Now we're running tight on time.
I know because we fooled around and fell in love.
and
Fooled around in love.
Okay, we're at. You could probably do. How long is it going to take? Because you got 3 minutes.
No, I don't have. I got a lot to talk about here on the Ford Bronco.
Well,
You
you
only get a certain amount of time.
you want to go to auto history?
No,
let's go.
no, I don't want to do the Bronco
I'll
now.
go long on that.
Yeah, so you on what?
On
Auto history.
Well, we know that. You
talk
always
for
go
hours.
long on
Yeah.
all that stuff.
It's not that I go long; it's you don't give me enough time.
It's like a football play. Conrad, you go long.
Yeah, Conrad goes long for the touchdown. Well, are we going to have our guest scheduled for the 9:30 hour, or what is it, Mr. Morris? He doesn't even know.
He's literally writing an email to Elon Musk.
I'm serious.
He's writing an email to Elon Musk.
While we're doing the show.
That's
he's writing-
okay. Let's get Elon on.
Well,
Maybe
I
he
mean,
can show up for the 10:30
Brian didn't
slot.
show up, so we might as well try and see if Elon can
This
join
Elon Musk from Chattanooga.
Well, is he in Austin today, or is he in California?
us. Oh, I don't know.
Well, I think they're gonna kick him completely out of California. I don't think they want him back. They want his tax money, but I think they're pretty
They
mad
want
at
a
him
lot
at the
of
moment.
things in there.
Well, let's do the cruise-in calendar. Shall we do that? That's
Sure.
what I have scheduled here, if you don't mind.
No, not at all.
So
Because
again-
I think that'll get us closer to being where we need to be.
Well, again, tonight, Nifty 50s up in the Woodlands, the Kima car meet from 6 to 9. Right now, going on over at Otto's Barbecue, and this is a shout-out to all my friends with the Gulf Coast Oldsmobile Club.
That we weren't invited to.
We weren't invited to the People's Choice Car Show. We went to it a couple of years ago down in Rosenberg. Well, they moved it up here to Otto's Barbecue, and it's from 9 o'clock to 2 p.m. today.
Good.
Good show. The other thing today, and this is from 4 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. at New Caney High School, the Autotech Car Show and Fundraiser.
Oh, is that this weekend?
With our friend Jonathan
Yeah.
Couch.
Yeah.
And there. Did you see the awards? I posted his awards on our Facebook page. His students make these awards out of stuff they have, and they've got laser cutters for some metal pieces and stuff. Really, really very cool
I
looking
need
awards.
one of those.
And then it's a $15 entry fee, which is actually pretty cheap, and then custom-made trophies. And again, that's at New Caney High School. Be there 4 o'clock to 8:30 p.m. Support your local Autotech program wherever it's
Absolutely.
going on, because there are just not enough technicians in this world to feed the automotive market right now. And take that from me, who lives in the automotive market, because many shops need technicians, whether it's an A, they all want the A tech, B, C, or even a D level technician. They're in dire need. And then also tonight is the Heavy Hitters of Halloween, and that's at 11222 Fountain Lake Drive in Stafford, which is kind of close to you here, Donnie. And that's at 5 p.m.
Okay.
On to you.
Thank you, sir. The In Wheel Time Car Show streams on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and InWheelTime.com. Podcasts are available from your favorite podcast provider. The In Wheel Time Car Show continues right after these quick messages. When you're ready to shop Chevrolet, we know one that should be at the top of your list: Bayway. Locally owned by Houston-born and raised Daryl Wisniewski, Bayway brings a sense of family to your Chevrolet buying experience. When you're in the market for a new or used vehicle, you now have a place to go. And get this, Bayway will beat any competitor's written price on the new vehicle you choose or pay you $1,000. Bayway Chevrolet in Pearland is only 8 minutes from the Beltway and Highway 288. Whether it's online or in person, you'll be welcomed like one of the family. BaywayChevrolet.com. Tailpipes and Tacos, Houston's premier monthly car cruise-in, returns Saturday morning, October 16th to the Lupi Tortilla Tex-Mex in Katy. Tailpipes and Tacos is free and you're invited. Collector cars, hot rods, customs, magnificent originals, and resto mods will all be on display. Lupi founder, car collector, and drag racer Stan Holt brings you the coolest Saturday morning cruise-in, Tailpipes and Tacos. Car show season's just around the corner, and time to stretch your car's legs in a fun family event. There'll be plenty of fabulous, fresh, made-to-order Lupi tortilla tacos, hot coffee, and adult beverages, too. This is Houston's coolest cruise-in, Tailpipes and Tacos at the Lupi Tortilla Tex-Mex on the Grand Parkway at Kingsland Boulevard, just south of I-10, and on the Southwest Freeway in Kirby inside the Loop. Get your ride ready, and we'll see you at the Tailpipes and Tacos Saturday morning cruise-in, October 16th, 8 to 11 a.m. The In Wheel Time Car Show will be there, too. We'll see you then, weather permitting. Gulf Coast Auto Shield has moved to a more convenient location. Now you can visit John Gray and his staff of dedicated professionals at their new shop on the South Sam Houston Parkway between Belford and Airport in Southwest Houston. Gulf Coast Auto Shield is the best at paint correction and ceramic coatings. Clear bras and custom wraps are specialties that only Gulf Coast Auto Shield installs with award-winning accuracy, and all their services come with a warranty. Lamborghini, Aston Martin, Porsche, and Ferrari owners depend on Gulf Coast Auto Shield for their specialty services, and you should too. The in-wheel time Corvette and Cutlass have both been massaged by Gulf Coast Auto Shield, so isn't it time your vehicle visit their new shop in Southwest Houston? Call John Gray today at 832-930-5655 or visit online at gcautoshield.com. That's gcautoshield.com. Paint, coatings, wraps, and more at gcautoshield.com. Celebrating 10 years of award-winning car talk, this is the In-Wheel Time Car Talk Show, your weekly go-to all things automotive place. Coming up, Jeff has a story on the Cadillac XP74 from 1959.
Yep.
Fine year it was. That's a prototype from the beginning of the space era. We'll have This Week in Auto History, get you updated on the stories making car news this week. Howdy, along with Mike out of this world, Mars, who's emailing Elon Musk as we speak.
He is, actually.
It was.
Yeah.
Along with King Conrad DeLong, and we need more Jeff Zekin. I'm Don Armstrong. Glad that you could join us today. And because we ran out of time last segment, we're going to do the car review this segment.
Your Bronco.
Bronco.
Bronco Sport.
And no, not the Sport. The real Bronco.
Oh, cool.
Oh,
Yeah, that.
Oh, no, I saw it last week. Good-looking truck.
It is.
It is.
Very good look. I love, and I'm sure you'll talk, I love the size of the doors.
Yes.
I love
You know,
everything
pretty,
about it.
Pretty cool. And yours is a two-door, right?
Two-door. Yeah, the Bronco. Now, the first Bronco was born in 1966. I did not know that. Did a little research on it. Thinking, okay, when is that? 66. I remember them, and they were not all that. They were, I mean...
Four-cylinder.
Four-cylinder.
Kind of
and
wheezy.
Yeah, but it was the era. You know, SUVs, as we know them today, were not all that.
Yeah.
I mean, the Jeep Wrangler. I mean, that competed against
Was
it
a
back
four-cylinder back then.
then. Yeah. So, available trim levels on the 2021 Ford Bronco, and I must tell you ahead of time, the one that I had is what is called a pre-production version.
Ooh.
So, in other words, it went down the assembly line, and it probably took a long time getting down there because it's a training vehicle,
Right,
and
right.
and they get it out to the press. It's not very often that I get a pre-production model, but this one was.
Oh.
Available trim levels. 2 or 4 door models are available. There's 7 trim levels altogether. There's the base, a thing called the Big Bend, a Black Diamond Edition, Outer Banks, Badlands, Wild Track, and First Edition, which is a limited model that they're building for this, obviously, First Edition. The reviewed trim level is the 2-door Advanced 4x4 Badlands. Okay? This is a small body-on-frame SUV. Seats 4 passengers. I guess you could put 5 back there, but it's tight. Because it's small. It doesn't look small in the picture, but in comparison to other vehicles its size,
Right.
it's small.
I would agree.
Exterior changes from last model year, all new for 2021. Exterior features small, square body, non-folding upright windshield, and I point that out because the Wrangler still has the folding windshield.
right.
And let me tell you, I have used that folding windshield one time, and I said,
Never do
swore
it
I'd
again.
never do it again
Oh,
because it's a pain in the butt.
On this one?
It has a non-folding.
This is
Non-folding.
non-folding.
Yeah, you're not paying attention.
I am.
No,
Well,
you're
you
not.
weren't. Well, anyhow.
Short overhangs front and rear, removable roof and doors, just like the Wrangler. What I liked about it, the big skid plates up front and in the rear, in the upper trim levels. You can buy the cheapo model.
Skid plates for no. I won't go there.
Conrad.
But that's for the. Is that standard or is that just part of their off-road package?
All options can be ordered individually. Interior highlights include an optional 12-inch in-dash touchscreen, available rubberized floors with drain plugs in them, comfortable seats front and rear, with rear seat legroom, believe it or not. Cargo and trunk room, yes. Believe it or not, it does have room back there, 38.3 cubic feet with the rear seats up.
That's pretty good.
It is pretty good. What I liked about it, the interior was well put together, well thought out. It really rocks it. Although I have to tell you, it didn't come with a owner's manual. And
pre-production. Probably.
And I could not find how to adjust the side view mirrors.
Oh.
And I looked and I looked and I looked. And then I realized I cannot find the switches for the windows either. They're at the front of the center console, so they face forward, and you look down there, and then you can finally find them.
Oh, it's kind of like looking for the power source on an airplane when you're riding the front, trying to plug your phone in.
The PT Cruiser had that type of option.
What could use improvement? It sits high off the ground. Could be problematic for those that are short-legged. It might need some side steps, but then it defeats the purpose of having an off-road vehicle because you don't want to have the thing rock infested.
But again, short wheelbase, short overhangs front and rear, and big tires is what makes it off-roadable.
That's exactly right. And listen, if you're not going to go off-roading, don't buy this vehicle.
The truck for you.
No, I mean, it looks cool. It rides great. We'll get to that in a second. But this is a specialty vehicle, and you cannot expect everything.
It looks super cool.
It is very cool.
Yeah, it is
I
nice.
really did like it. So this one had the 2.3-liter inline four-cylinder turbocharged engine. A 2.7-liter turbo V6 is also available. The V6 has 330 horsepower, but 415 pound-feet of torque with a 10-speed automatic. You can't buy it with the manual. I had the manual. And so my little Turbo 4 had 300 horsepower with 325 pound-feet of torque. Plenty. It's plenty.
Did you have to keep it wound up to stay in the power?
7-speed automatic transmission. 7-speed manual transmission. You say 7-speed. So it's got a thing on there called C. And it's the crawl mode.
Spanish version.
Crawl mode.
Crawl mode. Oh, so it's got a granny first.
It's got a granny first gear.
But
you don't have to put it into low. It's right there on the shifter. Okay. C. Yeah. So I thought that was pretty cool. Miles per gallon, 16 in the city, 18 on the highway for a combined of 17. I got 19.4. Of course, I didn't dog it or anything. I went 306.9 miles on my test drive. What I liked, the 120-mile-an-hour speedometer, kind of a throwback to the day. What could use improvement? Better mileage out of the four-banger. We got to find something. Mm-hmm. Ride and handling. The Badlands trim comes with 7-mode terrain management system, which is kind of cool. Base trim price, $42,095. That's the base trim price that I had, the Badlands. As tested, I'm just guessing because it wasn't on the window sticker. Yeah. I'm guessing it's probably going to be around $53,500 because it had lots of options on it. Base model price, $28,500.
Oh, wow. That's
great.
a sweet price.
$28,500.
I mean, if you want a stripper, that's a sweet price.
Exactly.
Competitors, the Jeep Wrangler, of course, for $28,900, and I didn't even realize that. Did you know that you could get in a Jeep Wrangler for $28,900? Toyota 4Runner, available in 4-door only and 6-cylinder only. It starts at $36,765, and the other competitor would be the Land Rover Defender, and it starts at $49,400.
Wow.
So it's a specialty vehicle. I think that they've sold out of the 21 model. They're now selling the 22 model, but get in line because I think that they're going to sell every single one that they make.
Absolutely.
It is very cool. Absolutely. I really liked it a lot.
And though it is a new vehicle, there is a tribute look to it.
Oh, yeah.
To the first generation Broncos,
right.
Not the OJ Bronco, but the earlier Bronco, which are still to this day hot in the market.
And some of those restored models, oh my God, they're bringing six figures
Oh, yeah.
in a vehicle that maybe cost $2,000
And
originally.
a rusted out puke truck is bringing $20,000.
Yeah.
You know, so and there's a lot of companies here in town, a lot of shops here in town that's specializing in restaurant.
So if you wanted to know, could you put my camera on there?
Yes, absolutely.
If you wanted to really know what it looks like, so the window sticker looks like this. Can you see that?
Yep.
Vehicle not for sale. EPA data available. Not
available.
Not available. Not being offered for sale.
Correct.
So here's your truck, but don't sell it.
Okay.
Well, no. So they'll take this back and crush it.
I was going to say.
Oh, yeah,
what are they
that's
going to do
what
with it?
Well, that's what they do.
And it's like, no.
Don't do it.
Don't do it.
I'll take it. I'll save it.
Mars has had pre-production vehicles before.
Yeah.
Has that got a VIN on it? Is the VIN XX? I know GM, those pre-production ones, the VIN would start with an XX.
I don't know.
Numbering sequence,
I
the last
can't,
six digits would start
right off
with
the
XX.
top of my head, I don't see it here. I don't see a VIN number on it. You can see.
Let's pass it down.
So anyway, that's the review of the 2021 Ford Bronco Badlands.
And you liked it.
A lot.
I liked it, too.
I liked it a lot. I like the color. I love the different trim levels that they have, the names for them. There's nothing that I really didn't like about it.
Kathy sat in it. I sent a picture to my granddaughter. She likes it, too.
Yeah, there's a full VIN on this. It's not XX.
Okay. Well,
But there's a full serial number on it.
maybe they don't do the XX
Maybe they
anymore.
changed
I don't
it.
know.
Well, you said General Motors. This is a
Yeah,
Ford.
I know.
So thank you very much.
Nice.
So that's the review of the Bronco.
cool.
Yeah. Matter of fact, I talked to the guy that gives me the Fords, and very nice guy, Ken Peabody. Mike knows him.
Yeah, nice guy.
Does a very nice job with the press fleet, and I wanted to give him a shout out and thank him very much for sending me the Ford Bronco this week. I'm driving the Ford Expedition.
Oh, wow.
Oh my God, is that thing nice? Jeez.
Yeah, Candace said that Ford had the dealers out to an off-road event in Horseshoe Bay driving Broncos, and she really enjoyed it. It was a lot of fun. And then Roos jumps in and says all the roofs on the new Broncos have been recalled
Yes, they
due to
have.
warpage.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know about warpage. I think it has something to do with the color, the pigments, and that it fades really badly.
Okay.
But to go through the whole thing again, that when you look at these, you have to understand this is a specialty vehicle that's built for off-road. Yes, it does just fine on the highway. Mm-hmm. I had it up to 70, 75 miles an hour. Rides great. It's a short wheelbase.
It is a short wheelbase.
It's a short wheelbase.
Tall
So
tires.
what that typically does is it makes for a little choppy ride. I didn't really pay any attention to that because that's not what the car is built for. Now, granted, you do have to get to the off-road park or wherever it is that you're taking it, and it does a fine job getting there. And I will tell you that the 7-speed manual transmission was fun. I really enjoyed it. The clutch is easy to use. The actual shifter, easy. It is well put together, well thought out. Ford did a great job, and congratulations.
Well, like
to
I
them.
said, the size of the side doors, it looks somewhat out of proportion, but it looks great.
And by the way, speaking of which, I understand I didn't try it, and there's a bag back there for the top. I didn't take the top off. I didn't take the doors off.
Well, thanks for not taking your top off, Don.
But apparently there's plenty of storage in the back for the doors and the top.
He didn't drop the windshield down either. Two things on that. When we were leaving the restaurant, somebody stopped you to look at the vehicle.
Yeah.
I remember that.
You guys hear me?
Yeah, we hear you. Hold on. Well, our next Zoom guest is here.
Apparently
we
so.
can hear him.
Yeah. So who is this, Mars?
This is Troy Hawks.
Elon.
Is it Elon?
No, this is Troy Hawks.
Well, that's next hour.
It's
No. My bad. I had to make a shift for Brian out at the air show, and I shifted it, and I forgot to update what came to you. So this is the correct guy. It's just you have the wrong schedule.
Oh.
No, I've got the right schedule because I've got the schedule that you sent me. So
Yes,
as far
I
as
did.
I'm
And
concerned,
on the updates, you did not get the update.
I got an update.
So Ruse says it is a laminate separation is the problem with the top.
Okay.
Just consider it's recalled and they'll fix it. Get over it. Drive your truck and
Take
enjoy
your
it.
letter. Don't even get a letter. Just go take it.
Okay, Mars. So I'll let you just go ahead and handle this.
There you go.
Well, I
Okay.
need to go call our next guest because he's texting me.
Okay.
So anyway, so this is actually Troy Hawks, and I think Charles Williams may join us here shortly from the Houston Mopar Connection Club, because the upcoming car show, their annual car show that they do every year at the Houston, or it's actually the National Funeral Home Museum, is here in Texas.
Not Funeral Home Museum.
I mean-
it's the Funeral Museum.
Funeral Museum is here in Houston.
Yeah.
You know, you've sat over there for an entire hour.
and done nothing.
It does. It
Emailed
says
Elon.
Funeral Museum Car Show. It says that specifically
Funeral
here.
museum.
That's
but
what
not
you-
funeral home.
Well, I was ad-libbing. I wasn't trying to read it. I was trying to be more...
and it's off of North I-45 and Rankin area.
Is that where this guest is?
No, that's not where
That's
he is.
where his show is going to be.
Okay.
So let's get to him.
right now with my daughter feeding
Yeah,
her
so
lamb.
he's out feeding lambs, I believe.
Go right ahead.
That's bad.
It's all
Yeah.
yours.
Yeah. So anyway, so Troy, how's it going?
Oh, it's going all right. Sorry I'm not in my garage to show you my cars, but it's the way life goes, you know? So
Yeah, well-
technology is here live right now with you guys.
Well, thank you.
Yep. So we haven't got Charles yet on here. So Charles may make it in yet, and if he does, we'll talk and look at his cars. But let's talk about the Halloween car show coming up.
Yeah, Charles is the main gist of it. What it is, it's a multi-model car show, so it's open to everybody. It's not just the Houston Mopar Club. They're the ones that put it on, and my daughter just got in the car. So,
Howdy, daughter.
yeah, say hi, Julie. We're on live. Anyways, it historically came from the Houston Mopar Club, all Mopar show. And about 10, 12 years ago, we decided to go ahead and do a multi-show where you have all makes and models that can come. And the venue was a real good venue at the Houston Funeral Home Museum. So, yeah, I mean, anybody can show up. They've got real good activities. And what they do is, they got the museum that's inside. They got an auditorium, and they're always playing cool movies so people, if it's a hot day, can get out, Ghostbusters and, all kinds of Casper, just cool, kind of movies to get people out. They have vendors that show up. It's a real good time, real good venue. I've enjoyed it every time that we've been there.
And what
Charles
date? What date?
Behind it.
It's Saturday, October 30th, right?
Yeah, I believe that's the case. It is. You can catch it at HoustonMopars.org, and that's plural, HoustonMopars.org. And it's the Houston Mopar Club Connection website.
I want to go see Walking Dead over there.
Like I said, we've been doing it for quite a while now.
Very good. So you do, since it's right there on Halloween or right there at Halloween, do y'all do like a trunk or treat or anything for the kids?
Yeah, there's usually, participation is highly encouraged as far as dressing up, getting in costumes and having fun like that. Some people deck out their cars and, get the spider webs and, skeletons. And they have a contest for that kind of stuff, costumes for kids. They'll have a costume. They got music going on. So it's a good time. It's a real big time family event. So my daughter, she said, "Oh, I remember that." I mean, we took her when she was knee high to a tadpole. I mean,
And this year it's called the Boo 13 Halloween Show.
Yeah, so there you go, 13 years.
Cool
So,
name.
yeah, it's kind of numerically.
And it's $25 to pre-register, which really isn't a bad price for a car show. And I'll assume you have different categories and giving out prizes and stuff.
Yeah, and then what they do, they have the awards presentation inside the auditorium, so you're out of the heat. It's comfortable. They got the auditorium chairs and all that kind of good stuff. So it's a really, really, really good time. There's past show pictures from the website, so people can check it out and see what they've done in the past.
And they don't take you back into the back and show you how they prepare the dead bodies.
Oh, I want to do that.
Because it is a teaching facility.
Process, yeah.
No, but
Is it?
actually, if you think about it, the first time I was there, it was like, okay, yeah, this is hokey, the Funeral Home Museum, But when you go inside and you check it out, it is actually pretty fascinating. It blew me away when I went in there and saw all the things that people could talk about.
They've got a hearse in there that apparently was only used one time, because back in the day, in the early days of automobiles and hearses and that sort of thing, they didn't quite understand the whole thing, because people, the mourners, would gather, and then they would all be loaded into this truck-like thing.
Right.
It was kind of like a bus, and then the body would be loaded in there too. Well, it just so happened that they didn't quite figure out how to balance all of that, so all the people got in and the front wheels went off the ground and they couldn't steer it. So there was that.
And they have a collection of funeral vehicles there.
That's what I'm saying.
And, well, I mean, besides just that one, but another collection. I remember they were actually, one of the vehicles they collected through the TV show American Pickers, and American Pickers had it delivered. There was a pretty cool piece.
And for Halloween, I'm going to do a feature on a hearse.
So this is at 415 Barron Springs Drive, Houston, Texas, and it's near AirTex and I-45 at the National Museum of Funeral History.
They'll teach you how to carve a turkey there, too.
All right. Well, Troy, thanks so much for joining us today. We appreciate it.
All right. Sorry I wasn't around so you could see the cars, but maybe next time.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
All right, thanks.
All right, time now for This Week in Auto History.
Aha.
Well, the first story, Don, is from your home state of
No, this is my home state.
Of Wisconsin.
Texas. That's
Texas,
my home
okay.
state.
Well, you were
I
born-
was born up
You were
there.
born
state.
in Wisconsin.
Got here as quick as I
So
could.
in 1912, the first professional race victory for Duesenberg engines. The race car was driven by Mortimer Roberts,
Mortimer Snurd.
who won the 220-mile Pabst Blue Ribbon Trophy race. I wonder if they were drinking PBR.
Yeah.
And it was held around the village of Wauwatosa, Wisconsin. Wow, I can't pronounce it.
Wauwatosa.
Wauwatosa.
Like Baba Wawa.
Baba Wawa.
Baba Wawa. So, and that was the car they had a victory.
That
in.
was
Pretty
it.
cool. Look at that. It's chain driven. Is that wild?
Yeah.
And so in 1913, Ford introduced the continuous moving assembly line. There's Wauwatosa. Tell me how to pronounce that.
Wauwatosa.
The moving assembly line in Highland Park factory. The assembly line was divided into 29 operations performed by 29 groups of people along a moving belt. The system reduced the man hours to complete one Model T from 12 and a half hours to 6 hours. So with all of the different cars on the line, they were actually producing a Model T every 24 seconds.
How many were recalled?
Wow.
None of them. They didn't recall cars back then. They just buried the driver. In 1947, the Fédération Internationale d'Automobile, the FIA, formally established for F1 racing Grand Prix competition. Prior to that, the World Championship racing was sedans and stuff. It didn't have to be open wheel cars, so they created the F1 formula for racing back
Jeff
in
hates it.
1947.
No, I just don't like Hamilton.
In 1948, a law student, Cameron Argent-Singer, somebody's going to, why do I pick these names?
I don't know, is that the right picture?
Argent-Singer, yeah. Argent-Singer had a vision of bringing European-style racing competition to the place where he spent his summer vacations and making it a
Watkins
reality.
Glen.
Under the guidance of Argent-Singer, the SCCA in the village of Watkins Glen, located in the Finger Lakes region of New York, hosted the first automobile race.
Have you ever been there?
Yeah, yeah. Originally, the race was through the streets of Watkins Glen, and then they built the track.
And where was that? Pull my finger, what?
Pull my finger. In 1959, a news conference broadcast to 21 cities on closed-circuit television. Henry Ford introduced his company's newest car, the 90-horsepower Ford Falcon.
I like it.
The Falcon, dubbed the small car with the big feet, was an overnight success. Do you know that Falcon was also the name that Chrysler was going to use to introduce the Valiant? The first year the Valiant came out in 1959, it had no name on it because they had planned on using Falcon, and Ford came out with it first.
Okay. Perfect.
And then it wasn't until the second year of production they put the Valiant name on it. In 1960, the first episode of the one-hour television drama Route 66 aired on CBS.
Route 66. Not Route.
Whatever. Route 66 on CBS. The program had a simple premise. It followed two young men, Buzz and Todd, as they drove across the country.
Sure, yeah, that's it.
Buzz
And Todd.
as they drove around the country in an inherited Corvette. Chevrolet was one of the show sponsors. They were doing odd jobs looking for adventure.
Yeah.
Route 44 had, or Route
66.
Route 66 had its own setting change every week because it was filmed on location.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
Okay.
They were always traveling somewhere.
And the car was upgraded every year by Chevrolet, so it actually started off with a 1960 model, and the first show, and then the second show they used a 61, and then Chevrolet provided upgraded vehicles throughout the show's run,
What are you
upgrading
doing?
the new
I
models
missed
each
it.
year.
I was trying to sync it.
For the sync. Yeah, we're syncing. Chevrolet, and then through the 64 model year, so there actually was a 63 and a 64 where they transitioned from the C2 Corvette to the Stingray Corvettes. And
Is this a long segment that you're going to
and
do
then in
today?
1961, the United Auto Workers called the first company-wide strike against Ford since Ford's union contract was signed in 1941. The negotiations between Ford Motor Company and the UAW fell apart, and it took 7 days of strike before the tenuous 3-year agreement was
There
signed.
was a lot of
Tenuous.
people were shot and all that stuff.
No, in 41, that's when that happened, when
Oh.
they actually got the machine guns out on the top of the hill, and they were just mowing people down. Yeah.
That was
Unions probably were. It was the manufacturers, and they were beating up. Ford had his guy, and they were out there beating up the union guys.
beat him.
Well, now that you've taken up all of my time, I did want to mention a couple of things. Lithium prices, not the lithium that you take for your mental stability, but lithium prices extended their year-long rally as surging demand spurs a shortfall of the key battery material. Prices have more than doubled in the past year. Demand for the materials used in EVs and renewable energy storage has soared. And while miners are seeking to boost supply, there's not enough to meet consumption. No surprise there.
And then all the lithium mines that were in Afghanistan, we just gave to China.
And General Motors said it's
Thank you,
partnering
Joe.
with the General Electric division to develop a supply chain of rare earth and other materials used in the manufacturing of EVs and renewable energy equipment. The collaboration with GE Renewable Energy will create a supply chain based in North America and Europe and evaluate ways to improve supplies of heavy and light rare earth materials and magnets, copper, and electrical steel.
That'd make a good band name, Rare Earth.
There already is.
I think that there was a band
it's already
called
taken.
Rare Earth, but I hadn't used that. I hadn't used that word in a long time, and I wanted to say it many times. Rare Earth.
We'll have to listen to some of their music during the break.
Mother Nature.
Okay, well, keep that in mind. Time now for a quick break here on the In Wheel Time Car Show. We've got more coming up. Stay with us.
Whether you own a newer car or want to keep your older one humming along for a while longer, think of Bayway Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, Bayway Chevy, and Bayway Lincoln to keep things in tip-top shape. From oil changes to major repairs, you can depend on the highly skilled service pros at Bayway Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, Bayway Chevrolet, and Bayway Lincoln to perform fast, efficient service to keep your investment running strong. For all your service needs, remember Bayway. Schedule your next appointment online anytime. Bayway, keeping it original. Tailpipes and Tacos, Houston's premier monthly car cruise-in, returns Saturday morning, October 16th to the Lupi Tortilla Tex-Mex in Katy. Tailpipes and Tacos is free and you're invited. Collector cars, hot rods, customs, magnificent originals, and resto mods will all be on display. Lupi founder, car collector, and drag racer Stan Holt brings you the coolest Saturday morning cruise-in, Tailpipes and Tacos. Car show season's just around the corner and time to stretch your car's legs in a fun family event. There'll be plenty of fabulous, fresh, made-to-order Lupi tortilla tacos, hot coffee, and adult beverages, too. This is Houston's coolest cruise-in, Tailpipes and Tacos at the Lupi Tortilla Tex-Mex on the Grand Parkway at Kingsland Boulevard, just south of I-10, and on the Southwest Freeway in Kirby inside the Loop. Get your ride ready and we'll see you at the Tailpipes and Tacos Saturday morning cruise-in, October 16th, 8 to 11 a.m. The In Wheel Time Car Show will be there too. We'll see you then, weather permitting. Gulf Coast Auto Shield has moved to a more convenient location. Now you can visit John Gray and his staff of dedicated professionals at their new shop on the South Sam Houston Parkway between Belford and Airport in Southwest Houston. Gulf Coast Auto Shield is the best at paint correction and ceramic coatings. Clear bras and custom wraps are specialties that only Gulf Coast Auto Shield installs with award-winning accuracy, and all their services come with a warranty. Lamborghini, Aston Martin, Porsche, and Ferrari owners depend on Gulf Coast Auto Shield for their specialty services, and you should too. The in-wheel time Corvette and Cutlass have both been massaged by Gulf Coast Auto Shield, so isn't it time your vehicle visit their new shop in Southwest Houston? Call John Gray today at 832-930-5655 or visit online at gcautoshield.com. That's gcautoshield.com. Paint, coatings, wraps, and more at gcautoshield.com.
Celebrating 10 years of award-winning car talk, it's the In-Wheel Time Car Show. And we appreciate you joining us on this live edition. Coming up, we need more. Jeff will tell you about a very cool 1959 concept car from Cadillac named the XP74.
Yes.
I'd love to see that in person.
I wonder if it still exists.
Yes, it does, and we'll get into the story. There's some...
Conrad has the racing calendar, and we also have the stories making automotive news headlines this week. That and more just ahead on today's In-Wheel Time Car Show. Howdy, along with Mike out of this world, Mars, the Elon Musk fan, King Conrad DeLong. We need more Jeff Zekin.
We do.
I'm Don Armstrong. Glad you could join us today. And this portion of our show is sponsored by Garages of Texas. Luxury garage suites. Put a roof over your ride.
Very cool.
And, yeah, the XP74... because I had to look it up myself.
Oh, my.
I thought,
do you want to do the review?
no, I do not.
Oh, okay.
I don't have the information. I think that you have all of that.
Are we doing that now, or are we going to do the guest?
No, we're going to do the guest, I
Okay.
think, first.
All right. That's
As soon as
Were you
Mr.
not
Mars,
listening?
as Mr. Mars keeps fumbling with his
Apparently
microphone down there.
Gonna cough.
Yeah. So here's the way to do that, Mars. I'm just going to tell you, okay? So when you do that,
Oh, that's true.
you see how easy that works? And then that way you don't get all of this and this and all of that.
It's not near as much fun.
I've had to try to teach these guys some semblance of decorum in broadcasting.
Sticking your head out the window.
But we got to do it while we're on the air, so I apologize.
We all
but-
learn. We all learn together.
Yeah, no.
We win awards for this show.
We do. Awesome.
That's exactly right. And they all laugh about it.
Yeah.
So,
All right.
We're not members of the Broadcast Hall of Fame,
oh, for
Don.
God's sakes. You need to let that go. I did.
In the meantime,
You ready?
Yeah.
let's go out.
It's all on you,
Let's
Mars.
go out to Guitars and Cars. Now, this is an event we've been doing for several years.
There you go.
For the U.S. Vets. It's a fundraiser for the U.S. Vets.
We didn't get invited this year, but that's
well,
okay.
it was a really late invite. It was too late for us to get it into the schedule. But this event is really about a fundraiser, and this year they've worked with the Airfield Museum out at Ellington. And joining us now from out there on site is Mr. Josh Albright.
Well, I think that Josh is at the Wings Over Houston air show.
That's what I said.
No, it's not what you said.
That's what I meant to say. You knew what I was talking about.
No, I did.
Tell us what's going on, Josh. We don't know
Please,
what we're
somebody
talking about.
tell us.
Who are you?
Get us
Okay,
out.
well, I'll tell you about what's going on. I'm Josh Albright, director of US Vets Houston. We're out here at the car show. We've got Guitars and Cars. Mike Fuller and Gordon Clunn have come together to put this event together for about 10 years for US Vets. They're the founders. This year for the... Wow, so that's a car. This year, for the first time ever, we've partnered with Wings Over Houston. And we're really excited to have all the people out here for the air show in combination with our car show. Big event.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And how many cars did you guys get show up this year?
I think this year we had 48.
Okay. And usually
Just about. What's that?
We've been years past when it was up here on the north side at the horse track, and they always have a good turnout, and they always have an eclectic range of cars. I can see it looks like there's a Lincoln over your shoulder right there.
That's a Packard. Yeah.
Well, it was close. It was an old car.
There's actually, if we can just kind of turn around a little bit there. Do you want to turn this way?
Sure.
Way. There's a lot of variety out here. If you want to see what's out here. Just kind of. Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, just keep going.
Okay. All right, I'll take it. All right.
Yeah, we need to do something with your audio because it's real hard for us to hear you.
Can you hear me better now?
Yeah,
Yes.
that's much better.
Okay, we'll do that.
And then you can rotate.
All right, so see, we have a wide variety of cars out here. And rotate. One sec. This is
guys,
Brian Robinson.
We're getting some technical difficulties here. So this is Brian Robinson. I'm also here with Josh. I'm one of the U.S. Vets employees. I'm our director of events. Josh is our man here in Houston. So we're going to go ahead and get this camera working.
There you go.
That's
So
better.
Josh is going to join me and kind of talk about what's going on out here as I show everything off here.
So like you guys were saying, we have a really eclectic set of cars out here. We've got old, new, kind of customized cars.
So this year we're coming up on a custom Camaro here that is done up in the Dynaco styling from the Cars movies. Pretty amazing here. We're
Rust-eze,
looking
yeah.
at Lightning McQueen. And then right here, that's the Rust-eze Lightning McQueen. And over here, we've got the Dynaco one. And then Josh, would you point out our T-Bird Club over here?
Right over here.
Yeah, we've had the T-Bird. Oh, I even see Paint House behind you. Friend of the show, Randy Borcherding. If he brought some car, I see
there's
his
his truck.
Yeah.
I see
Let's
his.
go over and look at Randy's ride. Josh, will you come up here and show us what Randy brought to show off for everyone?
Yeah, that's. I think that's Randy's.
Yeah, he said he's taking it
That's the
out.
Hudson.
The Hudson. What a gorgeous truck.
Pretty.
Hudson.
Oh yeah.
And so one of the neat things too for your viewers, if they want to jump online, there's gonna be Instagram pictures. We got that QR code. They can go through and vote for the best car in show,
Okay.
and they're gonna win a guitar at the end of all this.
Well, we'll get all of our friends to vote for Randy's truck so he could win a guitar.
We've got Fuller guitars we're giving away to the best in show for the cars.
So guys, you want to see a couple guitars while we're here?
Oh, sure.
All right, let's go over real quick.
Now, all of this money goes to
Veterans?
So here you go. Go ahead and walk it.
Okay, so I'll go ahead and tell you a little bit about what we do. U.S. Vets Houston serves the homeless veteran population in Houston. We provide transitional and permanent housing to homeless veterans. We also provide career services. We provide, sorry, just getting your frame right there. We provide career services. We provide counseling. We provide supportive services. So we can actually take a veteran who's homeless on the street and put him in a hotel room that day and get him some food.
Oh, cool. And how can our viewers help? What's your website?
So just go to usvets.org. You can donate on there. We also accept volunteers.
What's
so
the cost to get into the show today?
The cost today is about, I think it's $37, right, for general admission? Yeah.
That's for the air show, the car show. That's for the whole thing.
Everything.
Wow.
So basically 40 bucks.
And then we're selling merchandise here at this is our area right here. We're selling merchandise for U.S. Vets Houston, T-shirts, stuff like that to raise money. All of that goes to the Houston branch for the veterans.
Okay, I'm going to post a link to usvets.org on our Facebook page.
Thank
and
you.
Any of our viewers are interested, please donate. Sounds like a great cause. We want to get everybody involved. And I think we're...
I also just wanted to tell you that we're going to have a big crew of our veterans that are in our program. They're going to be out here today.
Okay, cool.
If folks want to meet them.
So, Brian, so the show runs today. It's going on today, and it'll be tomorrow as well, right?
Both, yes.
Okay, so
both.
what are the hours?
Okay, so the hours for the show are 8 to 5. We're going to be having events on our special stage over here at around 3 o'clock each day. We're going to be doing the judging of the cars and handing out prizes for that.
Very good.
Very good. Thanks so much for joining us today. We appreciate it. We're going to have
Good luck.
more of the In Wheel Time Car Show right after this.
Garages of Texas offers first-class luxury garage suites to keep your collection in a safe, secure location with 24-hour access. You'll love your own private space that's developed with other like-minded enthusiasts in 2 Houston area locations, in Katy and the Woodlands. Visit garagesoftexas.com to see how other enthusiasts have designed their motor vehicle man cave. But you need to act fast. These properties are almost sold out. Visit garagesoftexas.com for full details.
Here on the In Wheel Time Car Show, thanks so much for joining us today. It's been an interesting kind of show, needless to say.
Sure has.
That's one way to,
But
that's
you know
it.
what?
I knew that.
Elon, bail us out,
A little
Elon.
variety, kind of spice it up a little bit.
So just to let you know that what we have done is, Mars, during the show, we always have questions. What does Mars do exactly
boy.
on the show?
We still have those questions.
One of the things that Mars, today is a perfect example. While we were having a discussion, we're looking at Mars, and he's over there just like a little 10-year-old girl, like this, with his mouth open. So we say, Mars, what are you doing? Oh, I'm emailing Elon Musk. What?
Well, that's what we were talking
Did
about.
you email him?
Yes, I did.
And what did you say?
I invited him. I told him who we were and told him we wanted to talk about his cars and his move to Texas.
He said, "Who is this?"
Well, I
Block.
think, yeah. So that
Put on the permanent block.
I mean,
list.
if he's coming to Texas, he might as well come with the big guys.
That's
Yeah,
right.
that's
Come
it.
to the award-winning.
I couldn't-
in-wheel
That's what I
drive.
told him. Celebrating 10 years of award-winning automotive talk, we wanted to talk to him.
who could turn that down?
That's what I thought.
Elon.
Yeah. You know what'll be funny is if we get an actual, of course it won't be from him, but an actual response
Oh, I
from
never
somebody.
know. I think
you never
he'll come
know.
on the show. I
Yeah.
think he'd have a lot of fun. If he goes back and watch some of the previous shows, I don't think he will. But I think
December 19th, 2020.
Because we have fun on this show. We are not just some stale automotive show.
We
Send
certainly
me-
are not that.
We have a lot of fun on the show, and he seems like a fun guy.
Send me your VIN, and I'll tell you what it's worth.
I bet he's got some good stuff, too.
I bet he's a fun guy.
Fun guy.
Fun guy.
Yeah.
I don't do mushrooms.
Mushrooms.
No mushrooms. We don't do mushrooms.
Eat these
No.
and see
Just on my
guys.
steak or maybe in a salad or something.
Hamburgers.
Those are the eating
Hamburger.
kind. Those are the
Don't eat
eating
the
kind.
red ones
yeah,
with the
that's
little
what
white spots on them.
No, those are the ones that you brew.
Have you ever licked a frog?
Strange
No,
brew.
I've never lifted.
Well,
You never licked a frog?
tea.
Oh, yeah.
You wouldn't know about that over
Not
there
me.
in your part of the world.
You never
But
licked a frog.
Conrad and I know about brewing mushroom tea. We've seen it done. What?
Is the statute
Yeah,
of
what-
limitations
I watch
expired?
Watch some YouTube videos.
Wow.
I just hope the statute of limitations is
I'm
expired.
putting this in my drink.
Yeah, please do, because you know.
like we need alcohol on top of all
Do
of
it
it.
not only for you, but
Put all of it.
Put
you
all
drink
of it in
your
there.
way.
Didn't your
the show's
mom?
up. No,
Didn't
no,
your
no.
mom tell you if you don't have enough for everybody, don't bring it?
We've got plenty of show left.
Oh, that's an airline bottle. You're supposed to drink all of it at once.
That's one shot.
that's one shot.
I know.
You know,
but we've
that's
got
a
show
big
to do.
shot.
Do you know that Monday was
whining.
National Taco Day?
Yep.
And you can get dollar tacos, and this is not a paid advertisement, at Taco Cabana, and $2 margaritas, and you got a bottle of this to go with your margarita.
Yeah,
They
it's
still
topper.
have $2 margaritas. That's a steal.
Yeah.
For $2 for a margarita with a full bottle
But
of
you hang out at there
Tequila?
all the time.
It's a lost leader item.
It doesn't matter. It's I get lost if I read enough
about
of them.
$10 worth, you're lost.
No, it doesn't take that much from me anymore.
Cheers.
$1. That's all.
Yeah, $1.
Well, we had
for
a
it,
couple
yeah.
of Ritas last night. Those are good. Ritas are good.
You had Ritas. I didn't have Ritas last night.
You had you had 2 Ritas.
That was 2 nights ago, Jeff.
Oh, we got a response from Musk. It says, "Thank you for contacting Tesla. Our batteries are currently charging, and we will get back to you soon."
Is that what it
Thanks,
Thanks,
George.
George.
Thanks, George.
Our creative writer.
There you go.
know. Hey, George. Eventually, the background writers all move up to get their own show.
Where have I been for a day? It was 2 days ago. My gosh. Those Ritas were good.
They were really good. Yeah.
No, we had rehearsal last night. That's where I was.
That's where you were.
Yeah.
And no telling what was smoked there.
No telling.
Yeah, no telling,
Yeah,
please.
no telling.
Were you over at Kenny's house?
No telling.
No telling.
He can't remember.
That's right. And by the way, speaking of which,
Where are we
you'll
at?
be able to witness Jeff's band, Red Card,
Yep.
over at the Richmond Arms beginning at 6 o'clock this evening,
Yep, there's a time
going
change.
until 9.
Right. Bit of a time change.
Yeah. So you can say hello to Jeff.
I'll
The
let you-
Richmond Arms is real close to Richmond Avenue and Chimney Rock.
Chimney Rock and yes, I take Chimney Rock to get there. Yeah.
That's the easiest way.
Yep.
But at any rate, so you can go see Jeff play this afternoon.
I'll let you jump
evening.
on the kit. Yeah, let you jump on the big girl.
Okay.
We are not going to go there.
No, that's the name of the kit.
You call your drum set the kit.
Well, it's a kit, but it was nicknamed lovingly. I was at a gig, I was setting up, and one of the guitar players says, "Oh, Jeff brought the big girl today," meaning I brought all my drums. So the name stuck.
The drums, the cymbals, all the
All of
stuff.
that, all of
and
that.
it takes up an entire room.
Yes, it does. And so the name stuck, Big Girl. So we'll be sitting around
You
like
and
this
John
talking.
Bonham have the big girl.
Pretty much. And so you'll be sitting around in an atmosphere like this, and I'll say, I'm going to go home and beat on the big girl. And we know what it means, but the people that were around think
It doesn't sound politically correct.
No, it's not. So there you go.
Yeah, is this a note that you're going to pass?
Yeah, I'm
to me?
passing notes.
I didn't
No,
read it.
absolutely not.
I didn't read it.
Give me that bat.
No, absolutely not. Are you kidding?
We're still
No, I'm
we're only
not.
in the second hour, Mars. You've run out of guests.
No. We have a gap.
And well, not only that, but I think that that would be good because we could talk about the Westbury High School reunion.
See?
Well, and there's a few of them online with us. George and Candace are all here.
Yeah.
They're coming to town. And
From all over the world.
from all over the world. The wheelchair pushers at Intercontinental Airport are going to be making money.
I've got the crew out there waiting for everybody. It's only $10 a ride from your gate to baggage. And there's a lot of baggage these days.
Oh, boy.
Depends and
Under
that
your
sort of
eyes,
stuff.
there's a lot of baggage.
There's that too. Yes, absolutely.
So this is what, the 50th anniversary?
Something like that. Yeah.
Is it 50 or 60?
No, it's not quite 60 yet. We're getting there, but
55.
no.
That's 50.
Yeah.
It must be about 52.
No, it's
It
not.
was- it was-
Well, if it's 50, that means you graduated high school when you were 27. What was the hardest 4 years of my life? The seventh grade. I'm sorry.
I actually didn't graduate. Oh.
After 6 years, he quit trying.
Oh, my gosh.
Okay.
We've lost control.
So there are contests that you can enter radio shows into. And Mars always manages
Why is
to
he talking
enter us
about me?
into this competition for other radio shows like ours. We're going to enter this segment into the competition, and I know we're going to win.
That in December
We'll
19th.
get somebody's attention, that's for sure.
George says that you are hosting the Twister games at the high
Oh
school
my God!
reunion.
Yes, I am. And he posted. I think it was him that posted a very interesting thing about twisters at our age, and there was a bunch of ladies on the twister board.
I know where you're going
Snap,
with this.
crackle, and pop.
Well, it wasn't quite like that, but it had to do with saggy boobs. Let me put it that way.
Well, if you played barefoot, that picture you showed us,
And
those
we're not talking
toenails.
about necessarily
No.
women.
Yeah. Right foot on blue. You kind of. Yeah.
All right.
You hobble in there.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
Well, now we've completely lost control. This actually is a car show,
well.
We are talking about
and we talk
cars
cars.
occasionally.
So why don't we do the racing calendar?
Yeah.
To Yeah, let's do that so we can get our attention off of Mars.
So this afternoon is still qualifying it for NHRA in Dallas, and then tomorrow are the finals. Next weekend, NHRA is going to be at Bristol, and then on the 31st, they're going to be in Las Vegas, and then the World Finals is going to be in Pomona on November 14th, which is their first trip back into California since the pandemic. NASCAR is at the Roval tomorrow, which is the Charlotte Roval course that's been exciting because usually that last pass is the chrome horn and they push the leader out of the way and 2 or 3 guys go win the race.
What is it? Why do they call it a Roval?
Because it's the Charlotte Road course, and so it's the Roval. They put chicanes and stuff out in the middle of the track.
But it takes in part of the oval then.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And then on the 17th of October, they're going to be at Texas. On the 24th, they're going to be in Kansas. And then on the 31st, they're going to be in Martinsville. So NASCAR is just banging out races as they are coming to the conclusion of the NASCAR Cup.
By the way, what was that crap last weekend at Talladega? Would you explain that to me?
I have no idea whatsoever.
It got rained out.
No.
It rained on Sunday, so they postponed it until Monday. And they ran like 5 laps. And
Bubba Wallace won.
And they had a wreck, and that was the end of the race.
Well, they had to get to halfway in order to call it.
Oh, God.
But
that's not a race. It's kind of like the race that they had at Coda.
Yeah,
when it rained so hard, they should have stopped the race.
They should have stopped that
Welcome
race
to NASCAR.
long before they did. Well, yeah, but still, Bubba Wallace won his first race driving for Denny Hamlin.
Okay, but it wasn't a race. It was a shortened thing.
But Bubba won.
Yeah. Okay,
there may be an objective to that. So Formula One is the Turkish Grand Prix this weekend. I thought that was canceled, and then the 24th
because they were smoking too much
hash.
Yeah,
hookah and then on the 24th of October is the United States Grand Prix up at Circuit of the Americas, and that's going to be huge.
Yeah,
they're going to have a big turnout. They're sold out, and that's a great course.
They have absolutely the worst media relations department.
They truly
known to man outside of Chattanooga.
I was going to say,
outside of
right in there.
Chattanooga Motor Car Festival.
Yeah, they are lost in the fog, but they're making good time. And then on November 7th, F1 is going to be in Mexico.
I get it. They're making good time.
Yeah.
Got it.
In IMSA, so the is at VIR, Virginia International Raceway, and that is the GT cars, so the Corvettes will be racing. And then they'll be at Road Atlanta on the 13th of November, and that will be their final.
I'm a prototype guy because Cadillac always wins.
I know.
Well, speaking of prototypes, this week Jeff is doing a review of the Cadillac XP74.
It's a Cyclone.
Well, okay.
Yeah.
Whatever the case may be, this is probably one of the coolest cars. And let's see if Conrad can screw up this video.
Let's do it, Conrad. You and me, buddy.
Yeah.
We're together.
You can't even get
so we're looking
friend.
looking forward to hearing about the Cyclone XP74 by Cadillac.
It is a 1959 Cyclone.
Look
XP.
at that thing.
Yeah. Hold that shot. The Cyclone concept was created to explore both aesthetics and technological ideas.
Look at those bullet bumpers.
The 59,
Dagmars.
Yeah, Dagmars. 59 Cyclone was the last dream car created by Harley Earl's time as vice president of design at General Motors. The advanced technologies used in the hypercar were truly amazing, to the degree that big companies such as Audi, Tesla, and Mercedes are now utilizing it in their manufacturing. In the late 40s, GM devised a risky sales strategy, the exclusive GM-only Motorama. So the Motorama is like their Autorama, which provided to be the most efficient way of capturing the press and public's attention. Between 1949 and 1961, 8 events were held, and the most exciting of which was the 1953 edition. The Cyclone concept was created to explore both aesthetics and technological ideas like we talked about. The clear plastic cover fits snugly against the panoramic glass for the complete 360 view in the 2-passenger version. Now, if you look at that shot, you'll notice that the fins are smaller because that is actually the one that they ride around in. The other one was a concept. So what we're looking at...
I love the doors that slide back.
I know, isn't that great? And then there's another shot with the roof open and things. But the Cadillac engine, the Cyclone was powered by a 390 cubic inch V8 with a displacement of about 630. And
horsepower?
Right. Well, the horsepower was 320. It was 630 OCC.
Cubic inches?
Wait a minute. You just got through saying 390.
Yeah. Well, 390 horsepower, or 325 horsepower, 390 cubic inch.
390, right. Which was standardized.
I'm sorry, I still don't understand.
Yeah, but see right there, it says it's 630 on the OCC.
Oh, cubic centimeters.
Cubic centimeters.
Okay.
So there you go. And then it's 500.
Who the hell uses that?
Well,
back in '59, nobody.
Yeah, because now it's up 588 newton meters of torque.
Newton meters, oh dear
Fig
God.
Newton.
Yeah. The top speed of the car estimated to be around 110 miles per hour.
Ooh.
I can't imagine that car was very stable at 110 when you look at the front end.
Well, it was equipped with a low-profile carburetor and cross-flow aluminum radiator, and had 2 fans in it. So, well, the fans were driving. And beyond that, I mean, it's a really, really cool car. The bubble top canopy was supported by the vehicle. It's a fully convertible car.
Where is the bubble top,
There it is, right there. Yeah, it's in the first shot. So the top actually goes open, and then...
Well, Thumbs McGee over there running the video has got it all jacked
Well, here you
up.
go. The vehicle has a motorized door that glided rearward when opened. The canopy also rises automatically with the opening of the door. It also offered a 360-degree view from within the car. The canopy may also be stored in the boot or trunk of the vehicle. The boot. The boot. The canopy was coated with a vaporized silver to reflect the sun's rays, keeping the inside cool and not turning into a greenhouse.
Which is something that they do today with the technology of tint.
The panoramic views, yeah. So it was in all the glass. The that type of idea during the 58 and 59 period is pretty amazing because that's new technology back then. Other than that, today the Cyclone was a prototype never made into production, but the All Right since Earl was using the squeeze as much of new technology into the vehicle as possible in order to push the boundaries of what had previously been considered a car. And there you see one there in a museum type setting. So pretty much very, very new technology at the time. It was way ahead of its time.
I'd like to go see it. Where is it today?
I don't know.
Yes.
Go back to the beginning.
Yeah.
Go back to the beginning.
The very first.
Okay.
Is this a lesson in... Could you change the camera and get that off of there? Could you change the camera to something other than...
Yeah, I'll just do that, and then we'll do that. Hey,
Thank you for helping out.
There you go.
Appreciate it.
Anyhow.
Back to you in the studio.
If you just teach me how to finger the control over there, I think I could do a better job than he does.
I need to know how to do it and talk at the same time. That would be the thing.
Well, you got to spit the gum out.
There you go.
That's not gum.
Boy, oh boy. There you go. There you go.
You guys done now?
Yeah, we're done.
I think we may be really done.
Yeah. Well, and we've got another hour and a half to go.
Nice.
And no more
it's going to be fun. Oh yeah.
Oh, we do.
We're going to go to England. We're going to go to Coda.
Yeah. Okay. Fine. Well, we're gonna try to do a reset here. I don't know why, because we don't have a guest coming up at 1:30.
Surprise! Surprise! Surprise!
All right.
Uh-oh.
Well, it truly will be. We're not real sure who it is, but
and I don't know as if we really want to know, because Mars has been over there fingering around on his phone and other stuff. I don't know. Whatever it is that he does, because nobody seems to know. People ask me, why is he on the show? What does he do? We don't know. He's just there.
Well, he does a review when he has one to do, but he hasn't had a car in a while because there are no cars.
And so what's the purpose? I mean, he could sit over there in the corner where Jeff used to sit.
I'll go back in the corner.
But then there would be a blank spot here.
Don't put baby in the corner.
We can change the cameras.
Don't
have him over here at this side. Just saying.
That's amazing.
Okay, time now for a quick break here on the In Wheel Time Car Show, and we have more. Oh God. Coming up, stay with us.
Winning the highest sales satisfaction award among all luxury brands from J.D. Power tells you everything you need to know about your Lincoln purchase from Bayway. Bayway Lincoln is where a premium buying experience is a priority, and you're invited to feel it yourself. This Houstonian-owned premier dealership is your #1 choice for Lincoln. Become a member of the Bayway family. If it's online, in person, or in your own driveway, Bayway gets you to the luxury level you deserve. Bayway Lincoln is on the Gulf Freeway at Fuquay, just inside Beltway 8. Visit BaywayLincoln.com today. Tailpipes and Tacos, Houston's premier monthly car cruise-in, returns Saturday morning, October 16th to the Lupi Tortilla Tex-Mex in Katy. Tailpipes and Tacos is free and you're invited. Collector cars, hot rods, customs, magnificent originals, and resto mods will all be on display. Lupi founder, car collector, and drag racer Stan Holt brings you the coolest Saturday morning cruise-in, Tailpipes and Tacos. Car show season's just around the corner and time to stretch your car's legs in a fun family event. There'll be plenty of fabulous, fresh, made-to-order Lupi tortilla tacos, hot coffee, and adult beverages, too. This is Houston's coolest cruise-in, Tailpipes and Tacos at the Lupi Tortilla Tex-Mex on the Grand Parkway at Kingsland Boulevard, just south of I-10, and on the Southwest Freeway in Kirby inside the Loop. Get your ride ready and we'll see you at the Tailpipes and Tacos Saturday morning cruise-in, October 16th, 8 to 11 a.m. The In Wheel Time Car Show will be there too. We'll see you then, weather permitting.
By the way, that's next weekend, so be there or be square. Just saying.
Gulf Coast Auto Shield has moved to a more convenient location. Now you can visit John Gray and his staff of dedicated professionals at their new shop on the South Sam Houston Parkway between Belford and Airport in Southwest Houston. Gulf Coast Auto Shield is the best at paint correction and ceramic coatings. Clear bras and custom wraps are specialties that only Gulf Coast Auto Shield installs with award-winning accuracy, and all their services come with a warranty. Lamborghini, Aston Martin, Porsche, and Ferrari owners depend on Gulf Coast Auto Shield for their specialty services, and you should too. The In Wheel Time Corvette and Cutlass have both been massaged by Gulf Coast Auto Shield, so isn't it time your vehicle visit their new shop in Southwest Houston? Call John Gray today at 832-930-5655 or visit online at gcautoshield.com. That's gcautoshield.com. Paint, coatings, wraps, and more at gcautoshield.com.
Streaming live on Facebook. Streaming live on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and InWheelTime.com. It's the In Wheel Time Car Show, celebrating 10 years of award-winning car talk. Coming up, the Car Clinic, this week's auto news, and more, which is scary because I don't know what the more is. Howdy, along with Mike out of this world, Mars. King Conrad DeLong. We need more. We don't need any more Jeff Zekin. I'm Don Armstrong. Glad you could join us on this Saturday. It's been quite the hour and a half, and we still got another hour and a half to go. Feels like days.
And confused.
Yeah, well, yeah, there's that. You have to put your headset on for us to hear you. Then you've lost your windscreen. So what are you doing over there? You tuning into Mike Mars?
No, he's trying to be cute.
Here we go. Was that every time you hear that, you got to do a shot? Okay, your turn to do a shot.
Boomer Sooner.
Mm-hmm. I think he's trying to tell you something.
Where's your windscreen? It fell off.
It's on the floor somewhere, I imagine.
Yeah. Nice.
We'll figure it out. Mars has extra.
Boomer Sooner.
Yeah.
You know, unfortunately, Alabama doesn't have one of those kind of catchy little things, but they've got a killer football team.
Yep, and they have a lot of national championships.
They do. And they got Nick Saban.
OU only has 8 national championships.
Only 8?
Only 8.
I think Nick Saban's got those in his pocket.
Yeah. I don't think Saban has that many, but I know they have more than 8.
Yeah. They have more than 8.
You lost me at Sooner.
Football?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Football. What's that? Anyway, it's a big football day on TV. And even a bigger football night on TV because Alabama plays Texas A&M. And I tried to get tickets to go to that.
Is that tonight?
Oh, my God. It's so stupid. The price of tickets to go to a football game. Are you kidding me?
A college game? How much are
A college game. $1,000.
Are you
Seriously?
blankety-blanking me? $1,000 to go see a college football game?
If you want to sit in some place that's not the nosebleed in the end zone, yeah.
I'll be darned. Mm-hmm. Would not have believed that.
No. Trust me. I went
You went with your daughter
3 or 4 years ago with Katie, her last semester there at Alabama.
Mm-hmm.
And the cheapest seats that I could find, I spent $900
for two seats.
For 2 seats. But still, my God, Mike.
That's $450 a seat. I mean,
Yeah.
I quit going to concerts when the tickets got to be $100.
Have you ever been in a stadium with 110, 15,000 people?
Screaming, yelling.
I was at a
Every
U of M
seat
game.
Crazy people.
Filled.
Yeah, U of M game
Wow.
we marched.
The most incredible thing I've ever witnessed and been a part of in my entire life. I'd never been to a college game like that.
Wow.
I've been to college games before, but not like that.
Are they playing in Alabama or in College Station?
College Station.
Ooh, I might have to watch
Alabama
it
has
then.
14 national championships.
How many for Nick?
1, 2, 3, 4. When did he start?
I don't know. That's okay. It doesn't make any difference. He's killing it, and so is the football team.
Yeah, I think he's got 4.
I know since I've been involved, it's been.
Well, 4 at Alabama, but I think he's got national championships from some previous teams.
What's he making? $35 million a year now?
All he can get. He makes more than an NFL coach.
Wow.
Why would you ever want to go to the NFL?
Think of how many student scholarships that would pay for if he wasn't getting paid so much
Yeah,
money.
but the students are the athletes are getting paid now in some respect.
Well,
In some percentage of some
Yeah,
kind
and
of
it's going to be
formula.
interesting to see how that
and that's
changes
what's messing
the world.
their heads up.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Some kind of formula they have with gifts or something. Pay.
Well, this is a car talk show.
Yes.
And so I thought that we would talk about cars.
What? No.
Well, why not?
Okay.
Do we have a guest or no?
I'm working.
Yes or no?
Apparently
No.
not.
No, at
No.
this point.
No.
So we don't have a guest. So I wanted to discuss with you.
Okay.
We'll wait until everybody is ready
I'm
to.
listening.
We're ready.
You wanted to discuss with us while you're disgusting with us.
Okay. The car shortage.
Oh, gosh.
And
Huge
it
problem.
continues to get worse and worse. However, I read a story this morning that was pretty interesting that car sales are up. Car sales.
Not truck.
Not
Car.
truck, not
Car sales
SUV,
are-
but car
well,
sales.
That makes sense.
Well, there's cars available.
But
The
I
trucks
didn't even
aren't.
think about it, did you? I didn't think about
I
it.
didn't think about it that way, but that does make sense that car sales would be up because it's the only inventory they have because
Exactly.
nobody was buying cars before the pandemic.
Right. It'll be the last hurrah for cars, is my guess. Because once they get back up and running again with the chip shortage over with, I would imagine that and electric. Don't get me started.
Well, but electric is part of what's driving car sales because electric trucks really aren't out there in volume the way electric cars
They're
are.
about to be.
Well, they're about to be, but they're not yet.
Right.
Ford Lightning,
and we still have no infrastructure to support that, but whatever. As long as you're driving back and forth to work or in town, I think you'll be fine. But if you want to go to the
And if
beach,
you only work every other day, so you can spend 24 hours recharging your car.
Exactly. Yep.
it won't take that long to recharge the car. Now, about 12 hours. If you're depleted down to about 20%, take you about 12 hours to get it back up to 100%.
Well, you could put a 220 charging station in. The problem is, can you get 220 to your house? Most houses do. But, and then can Texas support producing that much 220 through their electric
Matter of
grid?
fact, there was a radio show that I was listening to yesterday, and they were discussing the fact that we do not have the current capacity
Infrastructure.
to actually produce enough power in, I don't think, 10 or 15 years. At the rate that we're using electricity today, there's not enough power being generated today.
True.
Much less the infrastructure with the power poles and that sort of stuff.
And if you listen to Toyota management, Toyota, who sells Prius and has this whole gamma of Prius Synergy drive vehicles across their platform of Toyota and Lexus, they say electric cars is not the way to go, that hybrid cars, which is what Synergy drive is,
Right.
is the way to go. So you have both a gasoline and an electric component to
Exactly.
your vehicle. And that way you don't have to depend on an electric grid who has not built a nuclear power station in 25, 30 years. And many places around the country have taken down hydroelectric dams because of some
water.
Because of some stupid fish was more important than the electrical systems.
Well, there's that.
But if you think about it, and to me it makes more sense to use the hybrid as that transition piece so that you continue to develop the batteries and stuff that you need for the
It's not
electric
the
car.
batteries, it's the infrastructure.
Well, and you build out the infrastructure while you're at it, and you develop your generating capacity.
Guess who's going to be
supply it.
building the infrastructure?
The Chinese.
You and me and everybody else, which is ridiculous. Did we build gas stations? No, we did not.
No, we did not. That's the other side of it that's not making much sense.
No, but you're right. And, the car that I thought was brilliant was when General Motors was building the Volt. Not the Bolt, but the Volt.
Yes.
Which was a hybrid.
Right.
Yes.
And it was a battery electric hybrid.
That had a gas motor that powered a generator to run the electric of the car. Correct. So while they were building that, I'm sorry, I finished his thought.
You're getting pretty good at that.
I love you, Don.
And there
he's turning them off.
me off.
Turned them off.
there's been a couple of others that that have been developed along the same line. BMW tried to do one, but to me they didn't quite get it because the gas tank on the on the gasoline powered motor was too small. It wouldn't take you anyplace. But again, to me, that transition over the next, everybody's saying, well, we're going to go to all electric in 20 years or 10 years or whatever the political storm is at the moment. I mean, it's not practical. We can't do it. So why not do something that is more practical with the hybrid?
I want to know what's going to happen to the manufacturers that have declared that they are going to be all electric in 10 years.
Oh, that's just
General
lip
Motors.
service.
And it's not going to happen.
That's
No,
lip
it's
service.
just
Either
lip
that or
service.
they're going to go out of business.
Well, there's another election coming up. The
It's
political scheme will change, and
I don't,
all
this
that
hasn't got
hubbub will go
anything
away.
to do with the politics. This is
GM
nothing
has
to-
never made bad decisions in the past,
never,
have they?
ever. Never made bad decisions in the past. But they're not alone. There are other manufacturers that have declared, we're going to be all electric by such and
Volvo,
such a year. Dude, why would you cut your nose off to spite your face?
Well,
I don't understand that.
because I don't think they really believe it's going to happen. Because I even remember going to the Detroit Auto Show years ago with Mark Fields was the president of Ford. We went into Ford's big presentation at the largest auto show in the country, international guests and everything. You walk in, you sit down. He walks out with a couple of his engineers and stuff, and they talk about electric cars and public transportation and things. They bring out one vehicle for their whole press conference at the Detroit Auto Show. And they're all sitting there talking about the future of electric cars
Electrification.
and how to get people around without using internal combustion engines. And I thought, my God, does Ford still make cars? Or is this what they're saying? They're getting out of the car business? And it's just been this evolution. They keep going down this road, but there's really no place to go.
There's no end of the road. There's no
That's
end to
right.
it. And the cafe
Not
standards
today.
are different.
Well, it's not necessarily cafe. It's electrical production.
Right.
They just can't put enough wattage out there to power all of these vehicles that are going to be on the market, that are supposed to be on the market. Look at, what is it, Amazon, and they joined with Rivian.
Yes, Rivian.
Doing 100,000 delivery vehicles that are going to be all electric.
Well-
you can have a brownout in your neighborhood when they all go home at night to plug those things in.
Yeah, because Mr. Jones down the street's got two of them.
No. They're going to have power generation stations that'll suck down diesel fuel all night long.
Pollute the air. There you go.
Well,
Well, they will. They'll have to.
I told you about that. I was at a Home Depot in Fresno, California.
Yep. You took a
and there's
picture of
like-
it.
Yeah, they took a picture of it. There's like 8 electric parking spaces where you could plug in your electric car, and right off to one side of it is a diesel generator. And when somebody would pull in, the diesel generator would fire up to power the electric cars. Mind-boggling.
In California.
And think about that now, all of these home generators that are out there.
Right.
You're going to have your home generator turn on just to power your electric
Those
car.
only work with a house that has gas. That doesn't work with an electric house. I've looked into it because I'm all electric. That generator
Yeah.
is powered by the gas.
Natural gas.
Natural gas,
Right.
exactly. So you're using natural gas to do the electricity.
Or you could you can bring in the propane tanks,
You could, but that's,
but again, it's defeating the purpose.
Right. I would rather have it direct behind, hook up to the gas.
So I go back to, I think Toyota may have the right plan by having a hybrid vehicle that has a gasoline component to the electric drive. But I can't see long-term that full electric vehicles. Buzz, if you're out there, call in and tell me something different.
I've already had enough fights already this morning with myself.
Oh, we still got time for more.
Write that down, Mike.
We got an hour and 15
and the
minutes
other
of
people
no
that
guest.
are on the dais today.
Do we know anybody that can zoom in for us? Or?
Well, George doesn't have his equipment with him, so he can't. I already tried.
So that's a loaded statement there that we don't even want to go to. Why don't we do the car clinic? Because I know that you can blabber on for hours on end, and that'll take up a lot of time.
Well, here in Houston, I don't know that the car show season really ever ends because our weather is good enough where you don't necessarily have to put your vehicle away for the winter. But many people do, and we're going to talk about that over the next couple of weeks about preparing your car for winter storage. But I know we have listeners all around the country and around the world that do have to prepare for winter storage. So this week we're going to talk about how to prepare your vehicle for winter storage of the gasoline fuel system in it. And since, again, there's still enough car shows to go out that you can be able to drive your car, now's the time to prepare for winter storage. There'll always be some water in your fuel tank. You can't avoid getting water in the tank. It comes in every time you open the tank. The humidity gets in there. Or if you have a newer car that has all of the evap systems on it and emission systems on it, when the vent valve opens up, it draws ambient air in it, which is drawing humidified air into your gas tank. And inside your gas tank, you get condensation buildup. Just like your windshield has water on it on a cold morning, that water builds up inside your gas tank, and eventually those water droplets will fall into the fuel. So one of the things you need to do in preparation for winter storage is get the water out of your gas tank, and you want to go out and get a high-quality fuel dryer to put in your fuel tank. And a fuel dryer, what it should do is it should entrain the water molecules and suspend them in the fuel, and then it'll extract them as you drive the vehicle over the next tank or two, as you burn the next tank or two of fuel out. And removing the water is critical to minimize the corrosion that's going to happen inside your tank, as well as to minimize what's called phase separation. With ethanol fuel, the water and ethanol join together, settle to the bottom of the tank, and as it settles to the bottom of the tank, you have this unburnable mass in the bottom of the tank, which is the combination of both ethanol and water. A layer of it, and then you have gasoline above it. The problem with it is that gasoline is a sub-octane fuel. Ethanol, they use that 10% ethanol. Houston, you have to have 10% ethanol. They use that to boost the octane number about 3 or 4 numbers.
So the gasoline's heavier than water because of the molecules?
No, gasoline's lighter than water. Water's heavier, so water settles to the bottom.
But you said you had water on the top.
No, yeah, I'm sorry. I meant you have water and ethanol on the bottom.
Okay.
And then the gasoline floats on top.
Okay.
So you want to get the water out so you don't leave the corrosion in there. Everybody's seen that rusted fuel pump as they pull a fuel pump out of the bottom of your car, out of the bottom of your tank that's been rusted because of the water that's in there. It doesn't take a lot of water. It takes 3 tablespoons of water to phase separate out 1 gallon of gasoline. A cup of water will phase separate 12 gallons of gasoline. So
wow.
It's not that much.
So
really not.
How do you deter that? I mean, is there an additive you can put in to evaporate
Well,
that water?
yeah. There's some real high quality fuel dryers out there. Again, I work for BG.
Yeah, I was going to say, is there a company that sells these?
Thanks, Jeff. Throw me that
segue.
softball. Yeah, BG sells a fuel dryer. The part number is 281.
Don's off camera eating right now, so you don't see him.
But again, you need to use a high quality product that's going to suspend the water in the fuel, and then as you drive it, it extracts it out. And then you also want to put a high quality additive in there for a fuel stabilizer that's in the tank. And again, that would be BG part number 213.
There you go.
We'll wander off on that. And you want to have your final fill of the fuel tank for storage and put the fuel additive in there. You want to drive it for a little while so it mixes in, it gets in the injectors, the carburetor, or wherever, so that the fuel doesn't wax up or gum up over the storage period. And I'm a believer that you want to store a vehicle with a full tank of fuel not with an empty tank of fuel, because if you go with a full tank of fuel, there's less room in the top of the tank for that condensation to happen, so less condensation happens as well. And then in Houston, it's difficult to find ethanol-free fuel, but I would say if you are going to store your vehicle, try and store it with ethanol-free fuel, and that means you're going to have to drive out to Waller or one of the outside counties at a Buc-ee's, basically, to get ethanol-free fuel. It's a better choice, but it's not always possible.
But all of these processes don't necessarily mean a car. You could have a boat, motorcycle, any winter
lawnmower,
vehicle.
your generator, all of these things
so
require some care in storing.
What is stable?
Stable is they sell it as a fuel stabilizer.
Is it stable or stable?
I know that, but what does it do? What is it? Because that's what they say. If you're going to store your lawnmower, you put stable in it. Well, what does it do?
Well, it's supposed to be an anti-corrosion piece to it, as well as something to keep the fuel from breaking down and gumming up. That's the intent of it. So stable, that's one of the components. That's one of the things that it does. And there's other brands out there that do similar things.
Part number 821.
No, 281.
Oh.
And 280.
Okay, then. So what is Techron? What is
Techron is a deposit cleaning agent. Excuse me, I'm popping my peas. It's a deposit cleaning agent that's in fuel. So, or you can buy it in a little bottle on the side. So what that does is that goes in and it cleans the carbon up inside your engine, inside your fuel.
So it doesn't have
anything to do with fuel stabilization. So there are products out there that do both, that have deposit cleaning agents.
Okay, so I go to
stabilization.
my Advance Auto Parts. What is it that I can buy there?
Well, I would. The stable product is there, and there's different levels of stable that are out there. There's another one out called Heat. I've tested Heat. If you don't buy the right one, it doesn't do anything, especially because Heat talks about getting the water out of your fuel. And I've tested Heat 1,000 times by now, and if you don't get, I think it's the red label one, it doesn't really do what they say it's going to do. So what you're looking for is that water, entraining the water so it takes it out as you're running it. Because getting the water out is just as important as putting a stabilizer in there, because the water is what creates the corrosion. Ethanol by itself is a little acidic, so when you add the water to it, it grows in its mass and it concentrates itself, because the water and the water will draw the ethanol out of the fuel, and that's what really creates the problem. So you want to make sure whatever product you're putting in your tank has both a fuel stabilizing component as well as an anti-corrosion component, and then if possible a DCA or deposit cleaning agent component of it. Those three components are really important.
I remember when I was back in the day when I was working at the Chevrolet dealership, the main engine guy, the guy that would actually rebuild engines right there in the shop. The guy was brilliant. He'd have some car come in there that was all clogged up. A granny took it to the grocery store and the church, and that was it. And it wasn't running right, clearly. And he would go in there, and I guess he'd check the oil, and then he'd get out the water.
Oh, I know where this is going.
And he'd run that engine up to about 4,000 RPM, and he'd take that water and just run it down the carburetor. And oh my God, it'd fill up the entire shop with all of this ugly, nasty soot coming out of the back end of the car.
Yep. And what he's trying to do is clean the carbon out of the inside of the engine.
Right.
So that carbon buildup, and everybody's seen the Shell commercials that talks about the carbon buildup. That carbon buildup, primarily, I'm going to tell you 95% of that carbon buildup is caused by oil, not by fuel. So that oil that's drawn into the engine through basically the PCV system, those droplets, every time you turn the car off, those droplets stick to something and build carbon up. The problem with doing the water bath like they used to in the past is the way the water would work, it would go in and steam and break things off in big pieces. In a car pre-catalytic converter, not that big a deal. And when you were there, that was all long before catalytic converters came out.
Thank you.
But that's true. It was 73 is when cats came out. Well, those chunks of carbon getting stuck in a catalytic converter is going to damage a catalytic converter. Those chunks of carbon getting stuck in a oxygen sensor are going to damage an oxygen sensor. Those chunks of carbon would stick under an intake valve every now and then, depends on how big the chunk was, and hold it open and cause a misfire. Well, back then, at 3,000 RPM, it would just hammer that chunk of carbon out, and it really wouldn't make a big deal, which is where that smoke was coming from. That smoke was a combination of steam and all the junk he was cleaning out of the inside of the engine. With us at BG, we actually have a product that will mist down the throttle body, kind of like putting water in it, but our deposit cleaning agents, and they will smoke and they will smell, but it safely removes the carbon buildup from inside the engine.
How often do you have to do something like that?
About every 15,000 miles. In
Really?
today's cars would be the smartest thing, but most people do it about every 30.
Well, no, it's funny. The only reason I bring it up is because for the first time in quite a long time, there was a car ahead of me getting on the freeway, and clearly they don't drive it that much, especially at a highway speed. And out from the back comes all of this,
coughing and spitting and sputtering.
all this stuff. And once they got it on the freeway, then it stopped. But you really don't see that much these days, as much anymore, because I guess of the fuel injection system, the way that everything's so efficient that it doesn't allow for that.
Well, plus the converter acts as a bit of a filter. You know, you got to
Dampers,
think
yeah.
they are working on a particulate filter for gasoline engines as well, like they do on a diesel engine.
Right.
But what you're talking about is the old European tune-up. You know, I get that car from Grandma, and Dad takes it out and runs the snot out of it.
Yep.
Well, that's exactly what he's trying to do, is trying to get the temperatures up, get everything hot enough, and blow all the carbon out of it, which back in the day was basically what a lot of people would do.
Some stories making automotive news headlines this week. Nissan North America took to the airwaves last month in search of new employees.
Wow.
With ads on radio, TV, and social media to promote career opportunities at its large assembly plant in Smyrna, Tennessee. Nissan, which reduced its manufacturing headcount as the pandemic disrupted the industry, now needs several hundred more plant employees. They tell the local community that employees have access to an on-site gym, a golf range, discounted rates on new vehicle leases, paid college tuition, and raises every 6 months. So if you're looking for a job, let's all move up to Smyrna, Tennessee.
Is that anywhere near Chattanooga?
Probably. Ford Motor Company and GM will attempt to settle a trademark fight over the branding of their hands-free driving technology out of court, they say. The tit-for-tat legal skirmish began in July when GM sued Ford for violating its trademarked driver assist technology. It said it was taking action to protect its Super Cruise brand and Cruise, the name of its self-driving affiliate, Cruise LLC, after Ford in April renamed its Copilot 360 automated driving system as Blue Cruise.
Oh.
Thought that was an interesting story. Semi-autonomous features such as hands-free driving and crash avoidance technology have become hotly contested battlegrounds as automakers seek to boost prices, best rivals with options that command a premium, and give drivers high-tech bragging rights. And wholesale values rose 27% last month.
Wow.
Last month from September 2020, according to the Mannheim Used Vehicle Value Index, which tracks prices of cars and trucks sold at auctions. Values in September were up 5.3% from August. In a conference call Thursday, Cox chief economist Jonathan Smoke said average wholesale prices have increased for 8 straight weeks through last week, and they do not appear to be at a peak for 2021. But when asked about the high wholesale prices hitting dealer margins, Smoke noted that auctions only represent the most expensive method for dealers to get used cars and trucks. A typical franchise dealer only sources about a quarter of their used inventory from auctions.
Wow.
And a new car dealer is looking for that trade-in to source their used car vehicles, you know. But when you're looking at independent used car operators, they get a lot of their cars from auction.
And when is it going to level out?
Quick break now. Time now for a break, and we'll be back with more of the In Wheel Time Car Show after this.
We all know about aftermarket and online parts stores, and each one has something to offer, but they don't offer original factory parts. That's where Bayway comes in. For original factory parts, visit the Bayway stores first. Give them a call or stop by. Bayway Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, Bayway Chevy, and Bayway Lincoln carry a complete line of parts for the do-it-yourselfer. Keeping your newer classic original means a lot, and you can count on these fully stocked parts departments to help keep it that way. Bayway Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, Bayway Chevy, and Bayway Lincoln, keeping it original. Tailpipes and Tacos, Houston's premier monthly car cruise-in, returns Saturday morning, October 16th to the Loopy Tortilla Tex-Mex in Katy. Tailpipes and Tacos is free and you're invited. Collector cars, hot rods, customs, magnificent originals, and resto mods will all be on display. Loopy founder, car collector, and drag racer Stan Holt brings you the coolest Saturday morning cruise-in, Tailpipes and Tacos. Car show season's just around the corner and time to stretch your car's legs in a fun family event. There'll be plenty of fabulous, fresh, made-to-order Loopy Tortilla tacos, hot coffee, and adult beverages, too. This is Houston's coolest cruise-in, Tailpipes and Tacos at the Loopy Tortilla Tex-Mex on the Grand Parkway at Kingsland Boulevard just south of I-10 and on the Southwest Freeway in Kirby inside the Loop. Get your ride ready and we'll see you at the Tailpipes and Tacos Saturday morning cruise-in, October 16th, 8 to 11 a.m. The In-Wheel Time Car Show will be there too. We'll see you then, weather permitting. Gulf Coast Auto Shield has moved to a more convenient location. Now you can visit John Gray and his staff of dedicated professionals at their new shop on the South Sam Houston Parkway between Belford and Airport in Southwest Houston. Gulf Coast Auto Shield is the best at paint correction and ceramic coatings. Clear bras and custom wraps are specialties that only Gulf Coast Auto Shield installs with award-winning accuracy, and all their services come with a warranty. Lamborghini, Aston Martin, Porsche, and Ferrari owners depend on Gulf Coast Auto Shield for their specialty services, and you should too. The In-Wheel Time Corvette and Cutlass have both been massaged by Gulf Coast Auto Shield, so isn't it time your vehicle visit their new shop in Southwest Houston? Call John Gray today at 832-930-5655 or visit online at gcautoshield.com. That's gcautoshield.com. Paint, coatings, wraps, and more at gcautoshield.com.
Celebrating 10 years of award-winning car talk, it's the In-Wheel Time Car Show. Just ahead, we
have nothing.
We have nothing. So go ahead and turn us off. And
No.
Stay with us, because you know it's fun. That's why we win awards for doing this. I haven't figured that one out yet either.
I'm going to do the hokey pokey.
You know what? If it comes down to it, we'll all get up and do the hokey pokey right here.
Yep.
Whoa. And I got the song.
I've
got access to the song.
That's a promise I don't know that I want to keep or they really want to see.
Put
We can move the tables out of the way.
No, we just get up on the table. Stand on the table.
And you
No,
shake
that
it
ain't gonna
all
happen.
about. You
Do the hokey pokey and you turn yourself around. That's what it's all about. Hey! We need more liquor.
Oh! Time for an add-on.
Hey.
Here we go.
Hey.
Yep. He's working on it. Elon.
Yeah, but his mouth's closed.
I'm not a happy person right at the moment.
He's not.
Yes, you're not. Yes, you're not.
Yeah. He's all right.
Because as Mars said, we've had problems with getting guests on today. Yeah, and when we do get them on, it's like, what? But Mars works hours
All week
long
Yep.
to line up guests for us.
So it's not Mike's fault.
Then when they don't show, it's like
We blame Mars.
And
we
it's not
blame
his fault.
Mars, and
Because it's
really
fun.
because it is fun.
You know, you had talked about Nissan hiring. If you don't want to go for Nissan in Smyrna, Tennessee, you can go for Mercedes-Benz, because Mercedes-Benz is
That's
actually
outside of between
Spartanville.
Tuscaloosa and
Right.
Birmingham.
You know,
very good.
If you want to go to work for Mercedes-Benz International in Alabama, they announced Wednesday that they plan to also hire hundreds of workers by the end of the year. They're looking to fill full-time positions in the body and paint shops, along with their battery plant they're building in Bibb County, where workers will assemble new technology high-voltage EV batteries. And if you look at all of the manufacturers, you know, because I know Ford just announced a huge battery program somewhere in that Tennessee, South Carolina area. General Motors announced a huge battery program.
Nobody's going to go to work because our government and our president is paying for everybody to stay home.
And the price of lithium is way up. You said that you brought us that story earlier, and now, all of these battery programs are built around lithium-ion batteries, and as that price goes up, that means the price of the car is going to go up, and we actually have somebody on Mars. We don't know if he can hear us or not.
No, that was some sort of epileptic fit he was having down
When
there.
you said lithium,
I was so happy.
when you said lithium, you got all excited.
Yes, I got so happy.
Oh my goodness!
So, so Mercedes and GM and Ford, as well as Nissan, are all hiring in that central Appalachia area.
Okay,
Mars.
what you got?
You're up,
Sam,
Mike.
can you pot him up, Sam?
I can.
Howdy, Sam.
Hello, gentlemen.
How are
Good morning.
you?
I believe it's morning over there. I'm very well, thank you.
Is
Good to
it
speak to you
evening
both.
over there? What time is it over there?
It's 4:00 in the afternoon.
4
so,
o'clock.
It's tea time.
It's beer 30.
Yeah.
Well,
It's tea time exactly.
And
All-
where-
the
and-
pubs
and-
are-
and
the
where-
pubs are open soon.
And are you in London or the surrounding area?
I'm in Huntingdon, which is near Cambridge, about an hour north of London.
Got it. Okay. So out of the big rat race, just a little rat race.
Well, Cambridge, that's where all the
a bit
smart
more
people are.
genteel.
Where all the smart people come from up in Cambridge.
And I think the Queen's got property up there.
The Queen has property everywhere.
So
She does,
Sam,
yeah, I'm renting.
he's renting. There you go. Perfect.
Good sense of humor. I like it.
So Sam has this thing that he has done, and it is written a book called Formula E: Racing for the Future: Behind-the-Scenes Insight into the World's Premier All-Electric Racing Series. And it's funny because I knew that this existed, but we really don't see it on television. We hear about it, and it's been around for a while. As a matter of fact, I think the first year was 2014. Am I right, Sam?
That's right. Yeah, it was born in 2014. They're going to go into their 8th season next year. So the championships straddle years, so 2014, 15. So this season will be 21, 22.
Why don't we see it on television?
Oh, but we do.
Well, they do have a broadcaster in the States. CBS do take some highlights, and they also show the races live, I believe. New York hosted 2 races and has hosted 2 races every year apart from 2020, of course, when the pandemic hit. But yeah, they have a doubleheader over in Red Hook in New York, just near Brooklyn.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And how far do they race? I mean, can they have like well, for us, it'd be like a 500-mile race or 200-mile race. How long are they?
Well, the races are 45 minutes plus 1 lap. It started off actually using 2 cars. So the drivers would have a pit stop mid-race, get out, hop into another car. But that stopped in 2018, and they went to what they call Gen 2, which is a car and a battery, of course, because the battery is where the usable energy is stored. And they built a bigger and better battery, and it meant that they didn't have to do those pretty, how can I put it, that the stops were a novelty to start with, and then they just became a bit of a pain. So what happened is they went to a 1-car sporting format, and lo and behold, a load of manufacturers turned up because they found it a lot more attractive. So we got BMW, Porsche, Audi are in the championship, or they've just left, but we have also Jaguar and Mercedes as well.
Wow.
Well, I'm surprised that they hadn't gotten down the stops where they could change the batteries out in quick time, kind of like a plug-in, unplug one and plug in another. I'm surprised that they hadn't developed that.
Yeah, they're actually looking at something for the next generation of cars, which is like a flash charger, so a super quick charging pit stop, which I think will be part and parcel of the sporting format for the future.
If Formula One thinks pouring fuel in a car is dangerous, using a flash charger may be just as dangerous.
Explosions in the pits.
Yeah, as the guys come out all wrapped in rubber, so they can plug the flash charger in.
A thermal event. Yep.
But it might wake some people up in the pit lane, right? I mean, it's safety is taken hugely seriously in all international motorsport, but it's especially so in Formula E because it's developing technology as well. Every member of the team has to go through a pretty intensive training session with EV technology, and they actually use big rubber gloves, and they've got to get out of the car at a specific time when it's not charging. There's been 0 accidents. There's been nothing that's happened at races that has caused concern.
Well, speaking of accidents,
battery fires don't happen, so that's a good thing.
When they do, in the event that they do crash, now I know in Formula One I've seen it on TV, but after the effect, when they bring the vehicle back after it's crushed or whatever damage it has, don't they go through a protocol for the battery before they can transport it back?
That's exactly right. Yeah, logistics is pretty intense because, as you can imagine, putting these things on planes to go around the world is you need a hell of a lot of paperwork, and you've got to double and triple check everything. But especially when one is damaged. There's a really good example actually a couple of years ago. Jean-Eric Vergne, who was the season 4 champion, had a big shunt in Saudi Arabia and cracked the infrastructure of the battery sort of cradle that it sits in the car, and that had to stay and be repaired in Saudi Arabia for a couple of months before it was allowed to fly back. So that is a big box that needs to be ticked before the races take place.
Interesting. But you mentioned Jean-Eric Vergne. There's a number of really high-profile drivers that are running Formula E. Some of the guys that had previously run F1 and a lot of guys that had run a German touring car and British touring car are in Formula E.
Fittipaldi, too.
That's right. There's a ton of drivers. I mean, we did have Felipe Massa, who obviously won a load of Grand Prix with Ferrari and drove for Williams in F1 for many years. Vergne drove many Grand Prix. Sebastian Buemi was on the Red Bull ladder. We've got Le Mans winners, ex-DTM winners. I'm just trying to think who we had from the States. We've had quite a few US drivers. Scott Speed, you probably heard of Scott Speed, who ran in Indy for a while. Marco Andretti did a one-off in season 1 for his father's team as well. So, it'd be nice to have a few more American drivers in it. We haven't had one for a while, but the hope is that we can get one next year because there's a seat available at Andretti for next season, which we expect could be a US-based
And
driver.
are the car chassis and powertrain systems, are they basically a spec car, even though BMW, Mercedes, or BMW, Jaguar, Audi are all coming into the series with their name, but isn't it somewhat of a spec car?
Yeah, that's right. It is a spec car. It's a spec chassis. The free aspect of it is the powertrain. And that's actually where the exciting technology is, in the powertrain itself, in the inverters, in the motors, and the gearbox itself. Even though they don't have gears, they have a connecting gearbox. Tyres are spec, chassis spec. The teams that run them are what you're referring to with the manufacturers. So, for instance, Andretti were partnered with BMW. They're going alone next year because BMW have gone on to do other things next season. But there's a whole bunch of teams in it that are well known mainly in Europe. But Andretti is the one in the States, and also Jay Penske, who is Roger's son, runs a team called Dragon Penske, which also races in Formula E.
Well, Sam, I understand that there's also a couple of things that you deal with in the book, and one is the engineer's view and the driver's view. And I thought that that was really interesting, the way that you look into that, because clearly it's two different views. And to get an insight into the car, you really need to understand how the car works, how it's set up, and only the engineer, well, typically the engineer would be the guy that would know that sort of thing. And then getting behind the wheel and driving the car has to be a completely different sensation than driving an internal combustion engine, I would imagine, with the amount of torque that you get right off the throttle.
Yeah, these cars aren't as quick as Formula One, but off the line, they're pretty much just as quick. They're a bit heavier than F1, but from the perspective of engineers and drivers, you're dead right. There is a big misconception of Formula E being quite easy because it's not as quick as other disciplines. But I can tell you, having spoken to the drivers, and like I said, some of these drivers who've won Le Mans and done some of the toughest things that there are to achieve in motorsport, it is supremely complex what they do. I mean, to give you an example, in the book, we get the driver's eyes, as you said, and they are getting real-time data from their engineers as a question. So they have the dash, and it's not just they're reading out one number or two numbers. They're reading out stuff in crypto. So they use cryptic codes because all the radios are open, and other teams can listen to them. So, you have to manage your usable energy. They get 52 kilowatts an hour to use during a race. Now, if there's a caution period, the race director takes off that energy. So then you've got to recalculate. And the other thing which is super interesting in the sporting context is that during the race, they have what they call an attack zone. So the car will go over offline, will go over this attack zone, which is a transponder loop, and it will get an extra boost, approximately 30 kilowatts of power, which they can use then for a certain amount of time during the race.
Is that like
kind of like
game.
the little yellow spots you get in Mario Kart? You know, when you run over those, the car accelerates.
So there's like a push to pass.
It is.
They use a push to pass.
Exactly. It's a similar thing, but in a very different sort of innovative context. And I think Formula E and the FIA deserve a great deal of praise for that, because it could have been really gimmicky, but honestly, it works superbly well. You get these races within races. So overtaking is, you get overtaking pretty much every lap. And you pretty much never get a dud race. There's always something happening. Even if nothing much happens during the race to start with, it will bubble up to something because people are managing their energy. So there was a great example in Mexico City in 2019 when Lucas de Grassi won the race literally on the line, because the guy who'd led most of the race miscalculated his energy and just ran out on the line. So we had this amazing, think J.R. Hildebrand at Indy in 2011. When he hit the wall at the last corner, that kind of amazing finish to the race. It's happened more than once in Formula E.
And these cars look like an F1 car. There's a variance to it, but they're all well winged out. They've got the big wide tires. It is truly a Formula-looking car that buzzes.
It's
got kind of a whine sound to them as they power up. So there is a little bit of a sound to it, but not like you expect in an F1 car. But to me, I think the racing is just as exciting.
I do too.
And it's not Mercedes just getting the blessing of FIA to win everything, and Hamilton takes the championship
We're not
year
going
after
there.
year.
We are not
sorry,
going there.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I digress.
I am not a Hamilton fan, in case you're wondering over there.
Okay. Well, Lewis was born about 15 miles from here.
That's good.
He was born in a place called Stevenage, just down the road. So
That's
he's a bit of a local hero around here. So
he's a remarkable driver.
Sorry, go on.
He is a remarkable driver. He's quite outstanding.
You can't disagree with that.
Yeah.
Well, one of your guys can.
And as he gets older, maybe he'll come over to Formula E. Don't know if that'll happen or not.
Well, we'll have to see. I think the big question, the pretty interesting question is there going to be convergence of all electric technology in Formula One? I mean, that's the big question. Interestingly, Formula E has a deal with the FIA, the governing body of motorsport, to have a degree of exclusivity for an all-electric single-seater championship, which is for the next approximately 20 years. So Formula One couldn't become all-electric without doing some kind of deal or having an integration with Formula E, which not many people realise, but it is absolutely true. So it's going to be interesting when those two things meet, which could be sooner rather than later. We'll have to see.
And there is some crossover going on because all the Formula One cars all have an electric hybrid component built into them. And I don't know how much crossover there is in the technology, but I would imagine quite a bit.
Yeah, you're seeing it more and more, and Formula One does have a lot of this with the hybrid technology. Obviously, it's not all electric, which the projections are that the majority of the world is going to be driving in the next sort of 10 to 15 years for sure. So we're going to have to see how that works. But all I can say is, from covering Formula E since the start, I'm far from an EV evangelist, but. When you see these things, up close, and you recognise the level of performance and the competition and everything to do with the sporting and technical levels, then it's impressive stuff. And if it gets people or new generations and new demographics interested in EV racing, all the better. I'm a diehard racing fan, so I love Lola T70s or Can-Am or whatever as much as the next guy, but. I'm telling you, these things are really impressive and well worth coming to Red Hook next year or wherever you can to see them in action, because they're really quick.
And lots of manufacturers' money is coming into Formula E, lots of it, and that's a good thing.
This is true. And the key then is managing it, right? You get loads of manufacturers in a championship, and history tells us that it can implode or it can get fraught and, it can eat itself whole.
It can ruin it.
That isn't happening yet. Yes, a few have left, but there are so many that it looks like it's going to thrive and survive in the near future.
Well,
Sam,
when we got word that we were going to interview you today, the first thing that came to my mind after reading your bio and all the stuff that's contained in the book, I thought, great idea for a Christmas present for somebody that's getting a new electric car. What a great coffee top table book this is, because it gives you some insight, a different perspective of automotive when it comes to electric. Because who was to know that we would have electric racing this quickly and ramped up this quickly, only beginning in 2014?
Hey, and Sam, and speaking of which, earlier we were talking about maybe getting some Americans involved in it a little bit more, but I read an article, I think, that you just did about possibly some more races in the United States, including maybe Houston?
Yeah, that's right. Formula E are talking they're talking to cities all the time. I mean, they have a big subbench, let's call it, of cities that want to stage a race. They started out racing on the streets of Long Beach, exactly the same track that IndyCar have used for many years. And then they went to New York in 2017, and they're looking for another race. I think ideally they'd like to race on the West Coast because California obviously is such a hotbed of technology and EV industry there. But Houston certainly talking to Formula E about something in the future. Who's to say if it'll happen or not? But there are talks ongoing. So I think there will be 2 races in the U.S. in the coming years for sure.
We look forward to having you send us your book to In Wheel Time. We appreciate that. Where can we get a copy of your book?
I'll make sure if you get some. Yeah, it's if you go to the Twitter page of the publishing company, it's which I've forgotten the name of.
Welcome to my world, my friend.
You fit right into today's show.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I can't even say it's early in the morning. Of course, no. Evro Publishing are the publishing company based in the UK.
Got
a
it.
Terrific job with the book. If you go to at Evro Publishing or evropublishing.com, you will be able to get a copy there. You can also get it on Amazon, but of course we'll make sure that you guys get a couple to mull over and to
Joining us, we truly appreciate your time on this Saturday afternoon over there in England, and the mothership. No,
Tell the Queen hey. Tell the Queen hey for us.
Yeah. Give her our best, will you?
Yeah, I will. She'll be down the.
And that's not Elton. That's the lady in the castle.
Yeah.
Sam, thanks so much for joining us again. We appreciate it, and best of luck on your new book, Formula E: Racing for the Future.
That's a pleasure, guys. All the best.
Thank you.
All the best.
All right, take care.
Great information.
Yeah. All right. So yes, publication date September 2021. So it just came out.
Yeah.
Well, that was a great interview.
Yeah,
like
and
that,
I did.
Hey,
and I
you
did get
scored okay on that one, Mars.
1 out of 6.
Finally.
1 out of 6. But we got one more to go. So I'm hoping for 2 out of 6.
Oh, well, let's not jinx it.
You got an attaboy.
It's only 35 pounds for the book, but it looks to be a pretty cool little book.
Well, it's actually the U.S. price is $50.
Yeah.
That's what it says.
I thought you were talking about the weight.
Just saying. All right.
heavy
Hey,
book.
if you'd like to get in touch with us, shoot us an email. If you're even still with us. The address is info@inwheeltime.com. Time now for the events calendar.
Elon, we're waiting for your email. Events calendar, stuff that's coming up. Saturday, October 16th, is the Mustang Club of Houston's Fall Open Car Show on Planet Ford 45, which, the Mustang Club of Houston, they always put on a good show.
Yep.
Sunday, October 17th, Kids and Cars, bring your Power Wheels to the barbecue place. Oh, what's the name of the barbecue place? Up on 249. And that starts at 3 p.m. and they're going to have a sectioned off area for Power Wheels for the kids to show off their Power Wheels. Also Saturday, October 30th, Chaotic Coffee and Halloween at the French Press in Houston. Saturday, October 30th.
Wait a minute. Wait. Chaotic Coffee
and Halloween. Chaotic is the name of the car club. You remember Women's Chaos, the car club? We've had them on the show.
Okay.
Yeah, Mopar.
Yeah, I do.
Mopar stuff.
Have fun. Okay, go ahead.
And then the Saturday, October 30th, also starting at 8 a.m., is the 13th annual Halloween Car Show at the Funeral Museum, hosted by, was it Space Center? Who was we had them on the show just a few minutes ago, too.
Radio check. Radio check.
Radio check.
Radio
Hey,
check.
radio. I
Breaker
got
19.
mine.
Breaker.
And then October 31st, Houston Cars and Cocktails at Little Woodrow's in Tomball. And then this one's out there a little bit, but worth talking about. December 11th at Legacy Ford is Toys for Tots Car Show in Rosenberg.
Cool. Right. Time now for this hour's story from Mr. Mars, and it's a continuation of his theme that he's picked up on, banned race cars.
Oh.
And this week we're going to talk about those things, those actually ugly cars called the Dodge Daytona and the Plymouth Superbird.
Oh, come on.
No, if you get up close to one of those cars, you're going to go, ooh.
Well,
but it wasn't built for looks. It was built for speed, and boy, did it work.
That's right. And they did. Dealers literally had them sitting on the lots because they couldn't sell them because the public just didn't like the way
They were
looked.
ugly.
Yeah,
That
they
big-
were.
Well,
that
plus
big
you can order
nose
them
that was
in that-
way off of the ground
And they-
in the front. That huge wing in the back meant nothing to most people.
And you could order them in all those wild Plymouth and Dodge colors back in the day.
But you know what?
Back in the day. But there was a kind of a sequence of things that kind of got them banned. There wasn't one specific thing that got them banned. But really what started it all was when Richard Petty left Plymouth and went over to Ford. Well, this was designed to help lure him back to Plymouth and to the Dodge house, and particularly to Plymouth. So it was basically designed for that reason and for the 1970 racing season. So it started out with the Dodge Daytona Superbird, a Hemi-powered car, won its first race at Talladega, first car to go over 200 miles an hour as a stock car, and went on to win like 38 races in 1970. So it really jumped out there with a big style, not only in looks, but in the way it ran. So the big wing that's on the back of it is actually 58 inches wide. It's made out of aluminum. I wasn't sure what it was, what I thought it was. But
and
anyway,
it had an adjustable downforce there. The center section was adjustable.
You can actually sit on
angles,
that.
right?
You can sit on it.
and there's a lot of reasons that a lot of people think that it was done as a rule that the trunk lid had to open. And so it was designed that high to do it, to clear the trunk lid. Well, no. It's designed so that the airflow coming across the top of the roof would actually catch that spoiler and actually do what it's supposed to do in circumstances where it just happened to fit that the trunk opened up.
And the Superbird's wing is taller than the Dodge Daytona's wing.
No.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, please continue on with the story.
So-
We promise not to interrupt anymore.
So the Daytona is the one that started it out, and so the Plymouth designers, the Plymouth engineers, they thought they would make it look a little bit better. They changed the angle of the wing in the back. They also changed the nose piece on it, which was also metal. I always thought it was fiberglass, but it's not. It's aluminum. The fiberglass is for the headlight covers only. Now, it's also got two scoops, rearward-facing scoops, that are above the front tires. Again, for the street car, that's there for looks, but for the race cars, there were cutouts underneath that. One of the rules in NASCAR at the time was that you could do cutouts like that for tire clearance. So that's the reason they officially did it. But the reality of it was they did it to get that airflow, to get the air pressure out from under there. So it was all about aerodynamics for it. So, and again, this is one of the things that kind of led to it once they kind of figured out why they were really doing these cutouts. The other thing was they changed the angle of the rear glass. And they changed it by several different degrees. And so to do that, they had to go across the top of the headline there to actually fill in the body because of the difference in the glass. So for the race cars, it wasn't too big a deal. But for Dodge, because they changed the rules that Plymouth had to build 4 times as many of their cars because they changed the rule. Instead of building 500, they had to build one for every 2 car dealerships. So they had to spend twice as many. So that's why you're going to find on the street cars of the Plymouth, they've got vinyl tops. Cost too much to finish it out for that many cars. They just threw it up there and they just covered it in vinyl, and that's what they put out on the market. So it was a combination of things that got these cars, and it was all about the aerodynamics, just like some of the other cars we talked about, that got these vehicles banned after basically racing only 1 year. They were too fast, and the official reason is they were too fast for the tire.
Yeah, but the cars were very successful on big tracks. They were not very successful on small tracks. In 1969, which was the year only Dodge ran, Ford won 23 races. Dodge only won 6.
Well, part of that's because the aerodynamics weren't effective after 60 miles an hour. You put these on a drag strip, the street car, street roadrunner, or street charger would beat this supercar in a quarter mile because it's heavier.
Interesting. Wow.
So it was a combination of things, but I thought it was some of the things I thought weren't the real reason.
All right. Thank you, sir. The In Wheel Time Car Show streams on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and InWheelTime.com. Podcasts are available from your favorite podcast provider. In Wheel Time Car Show continues right after a quick break. Well, I think it's going to.
Let me tell you about a locally owned and operated group of dealerships called Bayway. Bayway owner Daryl Wisniewski is born and raised right here, and he knows Houstonians better than anyone. Daryl's been in the Houston car business since high school. Houston experience that you just can't get at other dealerships. Once you step into a Bayway dealership, you'll want to become part of the Bayway family too. Feel good that you're part of Houstonian-owned Bayway Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram.com, BaywayChevrolet.com, and BaywayLincoln.com. Remember the name, Bayway. Tailpipes and Tacos, Houston's premier monthly car cruise-in, returns Saturday morning, October 16th to the Lupi Tortilla Tex-Mex in Katy. Tailpipes and Tacos is free and you're invited. Collector cars, hot rods, customs, magnificent originals, and resto mods will all be on display. Lupi founder, car collector, and drag racer Stan Holt brings you the coolest Saturday morning cruise-in, Tailpipes and Tacos. Car show season's just around the corner and time to stretch your car's legs in a fun family event. There'll be plenty of fabulous, fresh, made-to-order Lupi tortilla tacos, hot coffee, and adult beverages, too. This is Houston's coolest cruise-in, Tailpipes and Tacos at the Lupi Tortilla Tex-Mex on the Grand Parkway at Kingsland Boulevard just south of I-10 and on the Southwest Freeway in Kirby inside the Loop. Get your ride ready and we'll see you at the Tailpipes and Tacos Saturday morning cruise-in, October 16th, 8 to 11 a.m. The In Wheel Time Car Show will be there too. We'll see you then, weather permitting. Gulf Coast Auto Shield has moved to a more convenient location. Now you can visit John Gray and his staff of dedicated professionals at their new shop on the South Sam Houston Parkway between Belford and Airport in Southwest Houston. Gulf Coast Auto Shield is the best at paint correction and ceramic coatings. Clear bras and custom wraps are specialties that only Gulf Coast Auto Shield installs with award-winning accuracy, and all their services come with a warranty. Lamborghini, Aston Martin, Porsche, and Ferrari owners depend on Gulf Coast Auto Shield for their specialty services, and you should too. The In-Wheel Time Corvette and Cutlass have both been massaged by Gulf Coast Auto Shield, so isn't it time your vehicle visit their new shop in Southwest Houston? Call John Gray today at 832-930-5655 or visit online at gcautoshield.com. That's gcautoshield.com. Paint, coatings, wraps, and more at gcautoshield.com.
It's the In Wheel Time Car Show, your weekly go-to all things automotive place today. Coming to you from Studio A in Texas, USA. Next week at the Tailpipes and Tacos Cruise-In. But this is this week. Next week is next week. Howdy along with Mike out of this world, Mars. King Conrad DeLong. We need more Jeff Zekin. I'm Don Armstrong. Glad that you could join us on this Saturday. Thanks so much. Got a very interesting guest I want to get to. His name is Dave O'Neill. Dave, good morning to you, and thanks so much for joining us. We appreciate it.
Good morning. Nice to be with you.
Well, when I read all of the stuff that you sent us, I'm thinking, well, wait a minute. These guys are offering a service for guys that are into racing that really don't have necessarily a full-time pit crew, garage, mechanics, guys that change the tire, a complete operation that you can take to the racetrack, and here they are. S's Racing and Support. Am I right?
You're 100% correct. Yes.
So I've got to get the background story. I think it's a brilliant idea because, you know, let's face it, most of the guys that are into especially road course racing, some I would imagine wrench on their own cars, but others rather go out and buy a race-ready car and get out there on the track and go for it. And they get to a point where can't afford the team on a full-time basis, but I need somebody out there to help me, to support me at the race.
Right.
This is a great idea. How did it come about?
So started off with a driver who, as you said, was looking for some support. So he got addicted to motorsport like most people do, and then they ended up working out of his garage, and one thing led to another, and a couple more guys joined the gang, and 2 years later we got a 15,000 square foot workshop which we help people out who, as you said, haven't got the time. Some of them not the knowledge, although they love the cars and talking about them. So what we do is offer a service. The customer would drop their car off. We do a pre-track inspection, fit new tyres, bleed the brakes, give it a spanner check or a wrench check, nut and bolt. Make sure we got the right fuel for the car, and then transport it to Cota in most cases. We're here pretty much every other week. And we offer the service, so the guy or girl will come along with and jump in the car. We have RVs and haulers which the drivers use to get changed in. We do all the debriefing. We have coaches, so typically most drivers take a coach of ours, and then they work the sessions and trying to go quicker, and trying to improve their lap times and their lines on the circuit. And then once they've had a good weekend, 9 times out of 10, the car will come back to us, and we kind of rinse and repeat, really. So try and make it as easy as possible. It's more of a club as well now it's turned into. We're just slightly different this week, purely because the F1 garages are full and getting ready for the Grand Prix that's heading here on the 23rd, 22nd and 23rd. So we're out in the car park, and it's almost like a mini festival, people with their RVs and trucks all parked together. We got 22 cars here this weekend that we're looking after. So it's a little bit different, but also, we'll make the most of it and have fun. And again, people turn up with their families and their wives and girlfriends and kids all get chatting to each other. So it's a family affair, effectively.
So, Dave, let me just make sure that I understand this. You just got through saying and telling me that you have 22 cars. That goes way beyond a stable of cars that you're managing out there today. How in the world do you manage to keep up with all that?
And how big is the crew you bring to support 22 cars?
So how do we manage to keep up is a good question. We're always looking for competent mechanics. We have a range of people here. So one of my kind of ethics would be we want to train people up. It's really important. I've done 36 years of motorsport, and I learned a lot along the way, and I wanted to kind of inject that into to this business. So we're always looking for young, enthusiastic people, which we train. And then we have a myriad of experience within the team. So we've got people that worked in Indy cars, we've got people that work in NASCARs and F1, and also IMSA and GT championships. So we try and keep up. We're almost employing someone every 2 months currently. We're kind of up to 16 permanent staff. And then when it comes to how many staff and what staff we do, typically each car will have one tech on it. Then we have a coach for the majority of the drivers, and then we have like a chief mechanic, crew chief if you like, and also an engineer that sort of oversees all the cars and all the setting changes. So one of the biggest things that people tend to get wrong at the start of it is making sure that the tyre pressures are correct. And again, that can make the car understeer, oversteer, slide, roll the tyre off the rim. So we get the basics right first, which is the tyre pressures. And then once we've moved on from there, we then start looking at the driving styles, etc. So typically one person per car, so probably 1.25 people per car. And that's kind of how we roll each weekend. We do a huge amount of stuff at Harris Hill on every Wednesday. So a lot of the customers are obviously successful guys and girls. And when anytime they can get out, they like to run. So we do Harris Hill. We also do Crescent. and MSR Houston as well.
So when you talk about you have, let's take it down to one person per car, with that, when you have a range of different cars, you know, I'm sure you have people that are bringing Porsches, some people are bringing Corvettes, some people are bringing Camaros, Mustangs, Miatas. Are the people that you assign to those cars experienced in that brand, or are they just experienced in the racing management of the car? You know, because different cars are going to require a different level of knowledge of how the setup works.
Yes, so quite an interesting question. You know, typically the staff that we have got a pedigree in motorsport, so which is, you know, you can fix anything and you can run anything. We do have guys that have experience in the sort of GT championships. So you know, Ferrari, Lamborghini. We've got some LMP3 cars. So we have people that have qualifications in those cars. But a lot of it is just racing and kind of, you know, best experience from the past, really, you know, with the radicals. So
in general, yeah.
Also, you know, the other thing is we do run a lot of the systems, so we have a lot of the software to fault find the codes that we get thrown. But most of the time, you know, 9 times out of 10, you'll turn up and the car will go round and round in circles, and you'll just change the tyres, you know, and fuel it up.
Yep.
Do you have a particular car or race division that you mainly focus on just because more people have that kind of car?
Yes, so we take part in the North American Radical Championship, and we had at COTA we had 10 cars entered into the race. So that's typically what we do. We also do a GT invitation, so we got a couple of AMG GT3s that we enter into that, and some challenge Ferrari cars as well. But the main kind of race series for us is Radical North America.
Okay.
Do you also, I mean, in your shop, where is your shop located?
So our shop's in Buda, which is exit 219 on the 35.
Gotcha.
So
Yep.
Out there near the
15
Salt
minutes.
Lick.
Excuse me?
Out there near the Salt Lick barbecue place.
Correct, yes. Yeah, pass it every day on the way to work.
Smells it too.
Yep.
Yeah. So do you find yourself actually doing more work on these cars once you get a client that they send them over to you and, look, you just take care of my car for me? Do you get more work like that out of getting hired for maybe one race or two?
Yes, it's really interesting. So, you know, the way it's pretty organic, really, the growth. So, I mean, I'll give you an example today. So we turned up, we have our 22 cars. There was a Ferrari that went past me, and it looked like a speedboat. You know, it was heading like this past me. So I went up to the guy. I didn't know him. I said, look, looks like you got a puncture or the car's not set up right. It's a brand new Ferrari. No, it's fine. It's fine. Everything's good. I said, okay. And then he came back to me and he said, well, what do you mean? And I said, well, you know, it's got reverse rake. You know, the front of the car's off the ground. So anyway, long and short of it was, I said, tell me the story of what happened to the car before it got here. Well, we had it done in LA. A shop changed the springs on it. And I said,
there you
okay,
go.
there we go. So that's probably the door cracked open. And then we found out that they'd put the wrong springs on the back of the car, and they're on the front. So, you know, the front of the car was raised in the air, therefore, you know, not handling and touching the ground as it was going around the circuit. Yeah. So he's got his 300 grand car.
High speed wheelies.
Yes, porpoising down the straight. So anyway, we, you know, he's like, oh, can I have your number? You know, what do you guys do type thing? And that's pretty much how our business works. And then, you know, in lieu of the question that you asked is, we kind of have an open menu. So it depends, you know, someone might come in and say, I want everything done on my car. And then we have customers that just fly in. We look after their car, we store it, and the only thing they want is a new set of tyres and supply the gas, and then they run it themselves. So the menu's quite extensive, really. You know, you can build it how you want. So it fits into your budget and also fits into how much fun you want to have at the track.
So you brought as your team brought 22 cars there, or some of the people bring their own car and you just support them when they get there? You hauled in 22 cars today?
Yeah, so two out of the 22, 20 out of the 22 we brought. The others were driven by the customers.
Wow.
So
that's got to be a fun car haul.
I was just going to say that would be multiple car haulers, and I can't even imagine the logistics in trying to get all of that iron from one point to another point and try to keep everything straight. Well, I will volunteer. I'll be your T-shirt salesperson at these races. Because I know that's going to be next on the list. Well, a fan trailer.
Yeah, he did say that he has young and enthusiastic folks. We're half of that.
Yeah, we're half of that. Yeah,
we're neither young, but we are enthusiastic.
Yeah, most definitely. So, what are you looking forward to this weekend?
Well, we got a radical SR10 demo that we're doing. So we're trying to get as many people in the car. We got 5 sessions a day, and we're trying to sell cars. So radical SR10. Most of the clients and customers that are around here, once they get in them, they're addicted. Just purely because it's low to the ground, has a huge amount of downforce, and we'll do a 206 around Kota, so pretty fast. If you think a GT3 Cup car is in the 13s, 14s, so yeah, pretty quick.
Well, what is the price of something like that?
Kind of the SR3s start at around 130,000. The SR10's about 155.
So affordable to a person, obviously, that has the means, but also, I mean, it's not out of line. I mean, good luck in
about a race car.
You're talking about a 425 horsepower prototype-looking car. What's it weigh?
1,300 pounds.
With 425 horsepower.
God. It's a grown-up go-kart with a body on it.
And somebody that'll manage it for you. So all you got to do is show up and drop your butt in the seat.
So what kind of an engine does the thing have in it?
It's just got a 4-cylinder Ford turbo engine. So
you run an EcoBoost.
Yeah,
425 horsepower.
Wow.
Well, 425 horsepower out of a 4-banger turbocharged engine. That's a lot, my friend. I don't care who you are. We did a review earlier on the new Ford Bronco that has a little 4-cylinder turbocharged engine, and they're getting 300 horsepower out of that thing. And the trick to it is just getting the RPM in it. Once you get it off above 2,000 RPM, that thing will go like a tornado.
Hauling donkey.
Well, if you want to get the smaller car, because you'd mentioned the smaller car has a Suzuki Hayabusa 1,300cc and 1,350cc and a 1,500cc engine in them.
Wow.
So you talk about screaming high RPM buzz bomb.
God, how much fun is that?
That'd be awesome.
Yeah. So you don't rent any of the race cars that you supply, do you?
Yeah, we do. So you can get a pre-owned Radical SR3 1500 or 1340 for, you can pick one up for 40 grand, and you can race it. You can race it in the series. You can do all the track days that happen around. But we have cars we can rent. We have SR3s and SR10s that can be rented out to anyone who wants to do track days or even go into racing.
What a great idea! Now, as a driver, do you have to be licensed in the series?
Ask certifications.
Yeah, you need a race license, but also you can get part of your qualifications through Edge Addicts or Chin for the amount of time you spent driving at the HPD days.
So that's really cool, because one of the problems I always thought you'd have, if you don't have a race car, how can you get a race license? So now you can go work with these guys and get a car that you can use to get your license to get wherever else you want to go.
That's
from
right.
there.
It'd be there's nothing cheap about racing any way you look at it.
But this is manageable cost.
And the fact that you can get into the series without actually having to step up and buy a car. You could rent a ride, so to speak, for the weekend to see if you really liked it. And after you liked it, well, hey, 40 grand will get you in the seat.
Yep.
And
that's a start.
And you own it.
That's cheap,
And
though,
you
for
own
a race car.
It is.
But you could also rent different models to figure out which one you want.
You got all that, yeah. Well, this is a great idea. And how long have you been doing this, Dave?
I've been with S's for 15 months.
So,
and the company's 2 years old, I think you said earlier.
Yes, yeah, just over 2 years old. So.
wow. Well, we're all impressed. We're trying to pick our jaws up off the ground, going, "What a great idea this is! Why didn't we think of that?" And I know that you got your hands full, especially this weekend with 22 cars in your stable there that you're trying to keep competitive and support the effort there of all the drivers. Well, so what is your next event after this one?
We have another event at Harris Hill on Wednesday, which is demo days for our SR10. And then after that, we go to Crescent and Dallas. And then we are off to Cota again for the 30th and 31st. And then we have our final round of the Radical Cup, which is taking place in Sebring in Florida.
Oh, wow.
So we're going there to test on November the 5th. And then we have the race about 2 weeks later.
Well, there's nothing like being busy, huh?
No, it's good. It's great.
It
And be nice to see you guys down at our shop one day or at a track day.
Hey, don't be surprised if we come knocking on the door. Dave, it's great talking to you. Thanks so much for joining us. Good luck with all of the plans that you've got this weekend up there, and we hope to run into you again soon. Again, it's S's Racing. That's ESSES Racing and Support. Dave, talk to you again soon, I hope.
Thank you very much for having us.
Thank you. We appreciate it.
I put their link on our
Buda,
Facebook page.
Texas.
Mm-hmm.
Buda.
Buddha. Yeah.
Buddha. It's like rub your belly and pat your head.
Oh,
or
Not
boy.
that.
Pat your head and
No,
rub your belly.
no,
How'd you like his Austin accent?
Yeah, I love
You
the
know what?
Austin accent.
There's two guests we had today with an English accent. Maybe
We should have had three because Brian Redman, if he just showed up, would have been the third one.
We all need to do the show with English accents.
Eh? No, that's not
Canadian. Here.
You know, I got a feeling we're probably going to end this show in the same way that we started.
We
it.
certainly did.
out of control.
Out of control and off the tracks.
Man.
You said you had a big bottle somewhere. What were you talking about?
It's in there.
No, I'm not doing that again.
You're not?
Well, last week
Did that kind of put you on the couch for the rest of the day?
for the rest of the weekend.
Rest of the weekend. Well, at any rate,
Recovery's
I
a
thought
little
that you
weaker.
guys would appreciate it.
That was nice.
So, did we get everything in? That's
Twice. I think we got everything twice.
No, we didn't. What do you mean by that?
I don't know.
Okay.
We just had a lot
you
to
made
do.
me think about, did I miss something?
No, I don't think we did.
Okay.
I'm
Well,
looking.
Okay, well, we'll just wait for you then.
Okay, please do.
Talk amongst yourselves.
Because,
talk
we
amongst yourself.
don't have anything else.
God. Remind me to take the computer away from him next time.
Here, let me fix it.
Uh-oh.
Please do.
There you go. There you go. I fixed it. Because we can't hear it anymore. You know, this
Boomer Sooner.
This guy.
I know. It's
And I know
Boomer
all our UT
This guy.
fans are just twisting in the wind, and our A&M fans will probably be twisting in the wind later tonight.
Don't be twisting in the wind. You lose a
Yeah,
lot of stuff.
Alabama and A&M face each other, and they're in Kyle Field, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. What time's it start? I may have to try and watch
Tonight,
it.
can you imagine the tailgate party by the time the game starts? They won't even be in the stands. They'll be
hammered.
laid out in the parking lot.
Oh, yeah. It'd be great.
It'd be great.
It's like one of our gigs.
Have you ever done that, Mars?
What? Laid out in the parking lot?
Gotten so
Not in a very long time.
Gotten so wasted you forgot to go to the game? I remember most of the games you went to were high school
Wait a minute.
games.
Is
so
my
be
wife
careful.
still listening?
Becky, the
Is she-
truth is
is
about
she-
to come out.
Not if she's watching. I'm not saying another word.
Yeah, go ahead.
He's so old.
I'm
He's
done.
She's off.
not.
She
She's
left.
not there.
watching chariot games.
Go
With
ahead,
the- with
Mars.
the
We want to
lion
hear
in
the
there.
story.
Well, there was a story that going around about going through Jack in the Box about 3 o'clock in the morning, and somebody hanging all over Jack, trying to explain to Jack what he wanted to eat. But I don't really know who all was involved.
That was
in
when
that.
that was when
remember?
That was when they had the clown out there at the
at the speaker thing. Yeah, he's not near as funny as he is on TV.
That's why we can't have anything nice around here.
So you're still waiting on a
Don't tell
response
me
from
you've not
Elon
done
Musk?
that.
No,
Yeah,
Jack.
I checked the email. Elon hasn't got back with us, but he may be.
He's busy this weekend, but maybe I'm
He's
thinking
maybe moving or
No,
something.
Bezos is the one who's about to shoot William Shatner up in that missile
Rocket.
thing he's got.
I did not realize that William Shatner was as old as he is.
90 years
91.
old. 90 or 91.
90, 91, yeah.
Wow.
He looks good for being that old. I wish I looked that good now. You're 91, Jeff?
No, I'm doing the V.
Live long and prosper. That's the Vulcan. That's Spock. I don't think Spock's around anymore. I think
he's not.
He's gone on to the great beyond.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Vulcan.
Well, next weekend we're going to be at Tailpipes and Tacos.
Mm-hmm.
Always enjoy going out there. I hope the weather holds out for us.
And if you're going to join us out there and you got a cool car, come up and talk to us. We'd like to interview you
Absolutely.
about your car.
Yep.
Or we'll get Mike to hunt you down.
We're always looking for good car interviews. So
Well, I'm hoping that Stan's going to show up because I would imagine, I have not talked to him, but I'd imagine that he's in Dallas this weekend racing.
No, I would assume so.
But, you know, I haven't seen Stan in, 3 months?
Oh, they've been so
Tailpipes
busy.
and
Well, no,
Tacos?
yes, it's the last time we've been out there. He's always got great information, good stories.
No. Well, I didn't see him then either. Remember, he wasn't there.
You saw him at a different event.
Oh, yeah. A different event.
I'm not
but
talking
about
that.
I was talking to the Emmons boys earlier this week, and they were talking about the schedule, and they're going to come on and join us. But they were going to Oklahoma to race, and then they were coming back to Ennis. But the time frame that they left Oklahoma, they only had less than 24 hours to come home to Houston, and then they had to go back to Dallas.
Yeah.
Well,
so
wait.
they just stayed.
Oh, yeah, I was just going to say, that made no sense. You
No.
go from
Well,
Oklahoma,
that's what they
just
said.
drive down to Ennis and stay there.
Yeah.
It's
So
not
they
as
ended
if-
up being gone for like 10 days.
Well, Stan was gone for almost a month or more.
Well, that's true. Yeah, so sportsman racing isn't quite as just drag the trailer up to the drag strip on Saturday night.
Well, there is that element, but not at that level.
Yeah.
Yes.
You still got a lot of pre-planning.
Yeah. And stops at Buc-ee's along the way.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody has to stop at
And if you got an
Buc-ee's.
electric vehicle, it's going to take longer.
You know,
You know,
even
the
if you
good-
don't, even if you don't have to stop at Buc-ee's, you stop at Buc-ee's anyway.
Yeah.
Well,
That's
the good
right.
thing is they're going to have full sessions. Is that me? Yeah, that is me.
Yep, that's
They're
you.
going to have full sessions at NHRA. They have
You
17
could
cars
turn the sound
qualifying.
off on that thing.
Well, I did.
No, you didn't.
You had,
Obviously,
Clearly
didn't.
you didn't.
No,
they're going to have
exactly.
17 cars in Top Fuel and 17 cars trying to
Wait.
qualify in funny cars.
Turn
so.
it off.
So it's nice to see that they're going to have, there's not going to be any buy runs as there has been the last few events. And 20 cars trying to qualify for.
Well, let's see. If I'm not mistaken, now I'm not a smart man, but buy runs, that would be only one car. With
Right.
17 cars entered, there's going to be a buy run.
At least one.
Well, not in the final, not in the eliminations.
No.
To get to a setting.
And then Erica is currently qualified third after
good for
the
her.
second qualifying round.
4-time.
That's good.
Yep.
Very good.
Looking for super stock. See if I can figure out where the Emmons
We got to
boys
take a
are.
break. We'll be right
Do we?
back.
Houstonian-owned Bayway Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram has the most sought-after models in the Houston area today. When you're in the market for a new or used vehicle, you now have a place to go. Bayway will beat any competitor's written price on the new vehicle you choose or pay you $1,000. Bayway Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram is easy to get to on Highway 225 near the Beltway in Pasadena. Whether it's online or in person, you'll be welcomed like one of the family. Bayway Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram.com. Tailpipes and Tacos, Houston's premier monthly car cruise-in, returns Saturday morning, October 16th to the Loopy Tortilla Tex-Mex in Katy. Tailpipes and Tacos is free and you're invited. Collector cars, hot rods, customs, magnificent originals, and resto mods will all be on display. Loopy founder, car collector, and drag racer Stan Holt brings you the coolest Saturday morning cruise-in, Tailpipes and Tacos. Car show season's just around the corner and time to stretch your car's legs in a fun family event. There'll be plenty of fabulous, fresh, made-to-order Loopy Tortilla tacos, hot coffee, and adult beverages, too. This is Houston's coolest cruise-in, Tailpipes and Tacos at the Loopy Tortilla Tex-Mex on the Grand Parkway at Kingsland Boulevard just south of I-10 and on the Southwest Freeway in Kirby inside the Loop. Get your ride ready and we'll see you at the Tailpipes and Tacos Saturday Morning Cruise-In, October 16th, 8 to 11 a.m. The In-Wheel Time Car Show will be there too. We'll see you then, weather permitting. Gulf Coast Auto Shield has moved to a more convenient location. Now you can visit John Gray and his staff of dedicated professionals at their new shop on the South Sam Houston Parkway between Belford and Airport in Southwest Houston. Gulf Coast Auto Shield is the best at paint correction and ceramic coatings. Clear bras and custom wraps are specialties that only Gulf Coast Auto Shield installs with award-winning accuracy, and all their services come with a warranty. Lamborghini, Aston Martin, Porsche, and Ferrari owners depend on Gulf Coast Auto Shield for their specialty services, and you should too. The In-Wheel Time Corvette and Cutlass have both been massaged by Gulf Coast Auto Shield, so isn't it time your vehicle visit their new shop in Southwest Houston? Call John Gray today at 832-930-5655 or visit online at gcautoshield.com. That's gcautoshield.com. Paint, coatings, wraps, and more at gcautoshield.com.
Well, thank goodness.
We did it.
We survived another one.
That's a wrap for another episode of the In-Wheel Time Car Show. Hey, when you're on Facebook, please give us a like. Tell your friends about us and share our junk, if you will. You'll get Conrad's Unicorn Hunting Features, along with all things automotive. We always throw in some fun stuff and upcoming events. It happens all week long. In-Wheel Time Car Show streams live on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and InWheelTime.com every Saturday, 8 to 11 Central. Podcasts available from your favorite podcast outlets 7 days a week. Special thanks to all of our guests today. All two of them. The In-Wheel Time Chief Engineer is David Ainsley. Our Marketing Manager and Video Technical Director is We Need More Jeff Zekin.
We do.
For Booking Agent and Podcast Man, Mike Out of This World Mars. His royalty, King Conrad DeLong. I'm Don Armstrong. Today's show is produced by Dennis James and Old Gold. Gold. Be sure to join us next week when we'll be coming to you live from Tailpipes and Tacos at the Lupi Tortilla Tex-Mex on the Grand Parkway and Kingsland Boulevard, just south of I-10 and Katy. Have a great weekend and a great week. Stay safe and cool like you know you are. Now you can smoke them if you got them.
Yep.